Yo! What's good, everybody? It's your boy King Donald back with another video. So today I'm going to be doing what if Deku had Amaterasu or Black Flame. So it's going to be very similar to Itachi's Amaterasu and Sasuke's. And yeah, I'm going to be giving Izuku additional boosts to his abilities, so strength, speed, durability, agility, and etc. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Wait, hold up. Before we get started, I wanted to tell you that I have a second channel now where I'm going to be doing Naruto what ifs and other what ifs. So if you guys are interested, check that out, link in description. Okay, now without further ado, let's get started.
Chains, but I know you feel the same. So what if we're broken? So what if we're both 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 broken? I guess that it makes sense. I don't have too many friends, cause they'll leave you broken, and all I feel like.
So we start this what if with Izuku walking home after getting beat up by Bakugo. Izuku is distracted that why would Bakugo do such a thing? Why would he hurt him? And he would actually get lost on his way home. Izuku would turn into a dark corner and instantly know this is not the right way, but as he turns back, he does not see anything, he just sees fog. Izuku will continue walking until he hears a voice saying, "Hey kid, come here." Izuku be like, no sir, and try to run away, but the guy would grab Izuku on the collar and be like, "Come on kid, I won't hurt you, just give me your money." And Izuku be like, "No sir, I don't want anything, please don't hurt me." It's like, well, how could you think of such a thing of me? I'm not gonna hurt you, kid, I'm gonna kill you. Now give me my money. And he would start, throwing Izuku on the ground, start kicking him and asking, "Give me money." And Izuku's like, "I don't have any money." And Izuku would continue screaming, "I don't have any money." But the villain will continue hitting Izuku until Izuku snaps and his quirk activates, and suddenly the man just is infused with black flames and starts screaming for help. "Help! Help! What did you do to me, kid? Stop this! Stop this now!" And Izuku would be looking at the man in terror, seeing that he activated his quirk and now the man's burning alive. The man will continue shouting, "Help! Help! Help! Help!" until his screams will start to, become quieter and quieter until the man just drops down to the floor and the body is just completely black, infused with the fire, and just burnt to a crisp. Izuku would be sitting there witnessing all of this and just crying and terrified of what he's done. And Izuku's like, "I'm a killer, I'm a killer, I'm a killer." Until we switch perspectives and we see a hero on top of the building watching all of this. It was Eraserhead. He would take off his glasses and in complete shock seeing the kid's quirk, and Aizawa would turn on his quirk trying to stop this black flame, but it would not stop. That's when Aizawa jumps down and says, "Kid, are you okay?" Izuku's like, No, stay back, I might hurt you." And Aizawa would be like, "It's okay, kid. It's fine. You won't be able to hurt me. I'm disabling your quirk right now. You're fine." And Izuku would be like, "I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to." And Aizawa's like, "I know. I saw. It's okay, kid. Come here." And he would hug Izuku, to comfort him and everything. Izuku, just from being traumatized and shocked of what happened, would actually pass out. Aizawa would take Izuku to the station and find out where his home is and take him there. He'll tell Inko what happened and etc., leaving out the part that Izuku killed the villain, because he doesn't want to do anything. He'll just say that he caused severe damage to the villain, and Inko would be very concerned and asking, will my Izuku be okay? With him reassuring that I'm sure he'll be fine, but he'll be fine physically, but mentally, I don't know. Most heroes can't even recover from that. So a kid having this burden, it's gonna be hard for him. With Inko breaking out and crying, Izuku would wake up after being passed out for about an hour or two. Izuku would freak out, say, no, please. And he would look around and see his Eraserhead talking to his mother and run straight to him and be like, no, please don't leave, please. Without you, I wouldn't be able to control my quirk, please. And grabbing Aizawa's leg, not letting go. And Aizawa would be like, kid, it's okay. You can get a handle off your quirk. You don't need me. And Izuku's like, no, please. I don't want to hurt anyone again. I don't want to do that. And Izuku would start begging Aizawa. And Aizawa would give in to the temptation and decide to train Izuku. He'll be like, alright then, kid. Alright, I'll train you and help you develop your quirk. Because it can be dangerous, but if used in the right way, you could be a very useful asset to the heroes' society. And Izuku would have a giant smile on his face with tears running down, saying, thank you. And Inko would be grateful that pro hero is going to be teaching his son how to use quirk. So yeah, Aizawa would start training Izuku on how to use his quirk, but they would be progressing so slowly because Izuku is still traumatized. He has PTSD every time he thinks of even using his quirk, which is even more devastating because all he's ever wanted is a quirk. So Aizawa would, do baby steps onto Izuku, would eventually have him, stop trembling when he asks him to activate his quirk. And yeah, so I'm gonna do a time skip. So throughout the years, Aizawa's actually been helping Izuku, checking up on him and stuff like that, and it's become a routine for him, and he's developed like a bond with Izuku, and Izuku, yeah. After this time skip, Izuku would have a good control on his quirk now. He'd be able to use it, but not to his full potential, since he's still holding back from ever since that incident. So now it's the beginning of the anime, and before Izuku went to school, Aizawa would actually tell Izuku that he will no longer be training him no more. But Izuku be like, no, wait, what you mean, Mr. Aizawa, please? And he's like, no, you have all the tools you need. You can fight just like me. You can use your quirk, and there's nothing left for me to teach you. You even know how to use my scarf. You're the first other person I've ever taught. Izuku, you have all the skills and tools. You don't need me no more. You are holding yourself back. Get over that trauma, and I can't help you with that, no matter what I do. But Izuku's like, no, sir, please. I've known you for over 10 years now. Please, sir. And Mr. Aizawa saying, if you really want me to be your teacher again, then make it to UA. Prove to me that you deserve to be a hero. Prove to me those 10 whole years were not put to waste. Show me that you can be the #1 hero. And Izuku would be like, okay, I'll make you proud, sir. I'll get over my trauma and get into UA and become a pro hero just like you. No, a pro hero that's stronger than All Might. Aizawa would have that creepy smile on the other line of the call and just say, good. Alright then, kid, good luck. And would hang up. Izuku at first would have been scared, but it'd actually be hopeful for the future, and then maybe he can get over his trauma. So Izuku heads to school and he sees the villain fight with the random villain and Komoe Woods, and eventually with Mount Lady taking the shine and all the reporters just interviewing her. Izuku would arrive at school and everyone be looking at him and just whispering. So eventually they'll get to class and the teachers start talking that it's time to take your future seriously. So I've devised these tests for you guys to take to see what your future careers could be. But it throws the papers in the air saying, well, that's not necessary. I know all you guys want to be heroes, with everyone using the quirks with Izuku still having his head down. Just like in the anime, Bakugo would have his spooge that's saying that he will become the #1 hero and the richest and stronger than All Might. And the teacher would say, oh, Izuku, you're going to UA too? With everyone looking at Izuku. But this time, not to laugh at him or anything, but they just concerned for everyone else that's going to be taking the test, because they've heard the rumors that Izuku has killed somebody. It was actually started by Bakugo, hearing it from his mother that Izuku, severely hurt someone, and Bakugo, as a kid, wanted to make the story more interesting and started a rumor that Izuku killed someone, but little did she know that he actually did. So everyone would be afraid of Izuku and would actually avoid him, and they would make him an outcast. So as the teacher said that, no one would bear no mind to it, trying to actually ignore that the teacher even said that. Bakugo would not do the same though, but attack Izuku's desk, saying, What does a killer like you want to go to UA for? Where Izuku's like, I want to become the #1 hero. And stop calling me that, Bakugo. It's annoying. And Bakugo's like, oh, what you say, nerd? And the teacher telling him to settle down. So after class, Bakugo would come to Izuku and tell him that you shouldn't be applying for UA. They don't want murderers like you at that place. You're just a filthy villain. And Izuku's like, alright, Bakugo, I've had enough. Trying to fight back, but Bakugo uses his explosions like, what you say, Deku? With Izuku backing down. And Bakugo would tell him just maybe do a swan dive off the building. Maybe pray that you have a better quirk this time, that you won't kill nobody. With them laughing off. Izuku would be crying at this point and just run out the building. And he wouldn't know where he's going until he enters a dark tunnel. Izuku would be like, why does Bakugo have to do that? It's so annoying. Until he hears just a certain sound, he's like, wait, what the hell was that? And Izuku has pretty good, hearing and observational skills from his training with Izawa. And as I said earlier, Izuku has the 10 times stacked on all of his abilities, because, I want him to get him up there. So yeah, Izuku hears this, and that's when the sludge room pops up saying, give me your body, kid. I didn't know that freak was in town. And Izuku's like, oh my god, what the hell are you? And the villain will be like, just shut up, kid, and just give me your body. I need it. Trying to attack Izuku. And Izuku, out of defense, would activate the Amaterasu. And the black flame would engulf the sludge villain. And the sludge villain would be burning, saying, ah, it hurts, ah, and just kind of trying to roll around until the sludge villain thinks of a strat, to detach his body from that burning part of sludge, and just throws it away. And it's like, that really hurts, kid. Now you're really gonna get it. With Izuku, doesn't know what to do. Until that's when All Might arrives, saying, no need to fear, because I am here. And he, does Texas Smash on the sludge villain, completely defeating him. Izuku would be completely stunned that he has the #1 hero standing right in front of him. And Izuku would try to ask All Might a question, but he wouldn't muster up the strength to say it. That's when All Might offers, do you want an autograph, kid? With Izuku just nodding his head. He would sign his notebook, and All Might would say, alright then, I'm on my way, kid. With Izuku being like, wait, I wanted to ask a question. And that's when All Might would jump away. All Might would be flying in the sky thinking, oh, what's on my leg? And he would see it's Izuku with them freaking out saying, oh, what are you doing, kid? He would land on the building saying, what the hell are you think you're doing, kid? All Might turns back to his Small Might form and Izuku's completely shocked saying, All Might! And then All Might would explain that, just like a person at a pool sucking in their belly, that's what he does. And yeah, Izuku asks All Might a question saying, could I be a hero if I'm terrified to use my own quirk? And All Might would be like, you ask me if you can be a hero even though you're afraid of using your powers? And Izuku's like, yeah. And All Might would look at Izuku and recognize him, that it was that kid that had the fire quirk that can't be that wasn't able that you can't extinguish. And Izuku and All Might be like, wait, you're that? And you would remember what the case said, and you'll think, oh, that's fair. And All Might would just say, you need to push past your limits. And Izuku would be like, huh? You need to push past your limits. As a hero, you basically push past your limits every single day. And being a pro hero is a scary job. Heck, I'm always scared being a pro hero. But I put on a smile on the face to ease the people that watch me. So, cause if they're at ease, I'm at ease, and just helps the situation even more. There's no need to panic. So my answer is push past your limits and keep a smile on your face. And All Might be like, well, that's it, kid. I'm gonna drop it the sludge. Oh no, I dropped the sludge villain! And that's when they hear a giant explosion in a certain direction. And Izuku would look at All Might, All Might would look at Izuku, and they both head out there. And then both running. And All Might noticing Izuku's significantly faster than All Might, saying, whoa, impressive strength, impressive speed. And yeah, Izuku arrived there before All Might, and he would see that it's Bakugo stuck in the sludge villain, and he'll be like, oh no, Bakugo! And Izuku's body, before Izuku could think, his body would start to react, and he would start running towards the sludge villain. And the sludge villain's like, it's that brat! Screw you, kid! I won't let you do that to me again! Never again! And he would actually this time put Bakugo at his front, kind of shielding him, so Izuku couldn't use the powers on him. And Izuku's like, oh no, I don't know what to do. And you'll see like, think, Izuku, think. And that's when you would see, a metal rod on the floor, and you'd say, like All Might said, I gotta push past my limits. And it would pick up the pipe, and he'll say Amaterasu, and he would turn and he would use black flame on it, and he would have a flaming sword. And the soldier would be like, wait, what? And Izuku's saying, I'm done letting the past hold me back. I'm gonna be the #1 hero. You believe it? Oh, I don't know why I said believe it. But Izuku would dash forward at an impressive speed, with the sludge villain being surprised. And Izuku would slash the sludge villain, completely cutting through him like butter. And the sludge villain would be cut in half. And Izuku would grab Bakugo out easily. And he would put it behind him, and he would go back to sludge villain and say, burn. He would say, Amaterasu! And he uses it, and the sludge villain starts to burn. And, and everyone would see this, thinking, whoa, what the heck? Whoa, he's burning? And Izuku's like, push past your limits. Push past. And he's like, disperse. With him opening one eye, to indicate, And the black flames will actually dissipate, and everyone will be surprised. So Izuku being most surprised, because that was a very high risk move at his, because he used Amaterasu with him not knowing if he could dismiss it, but due to All Might's words, he was able to dismiss it. And now Izuku has unlocked more strength to his power. And everyone would start cheering Izuku on, asking about that quirk, saying, whoa, it looks scary at first, but now it was so cool, you're able to take down that villain, and praising Izuku, with Izuku being overwhelmed, because, he's never had friends, he's never had friends like that. So he's really antisocial in this, in this one, and less confident in himself. And yeah, Izuku would be walking home, and that's when Bakugo says, hey, Deku, I didn't need your help back there. I was gonna save myself. Well, I wouldn't need someone like you to ever help me. But Izuku saying, yeah, I guess so, huh? I'm sorry, Bakugo, but I won't be your punching bag no more. But Bakugo saying, huh? What'd you say to me? Izuku's like, you tormented me for all these years, and I just let it happen. But not anymore. I'm gonna be confident in myself and get over my trauma. And just you wait. I'm gonna go to UA, crush those exams, and become the greatest hero ever. With Bakugo looking at Izuku, be like, F you, nerd, and just walk off. And Izuku would be completely proud of himself, being able to stand up to Bakugo in the first time in forever. And Izuku would be happy with himself until All Might pops saying, I am here, and then going back to his small mind form. Izuku would be like, whoa, All Might? Oh, what are you doing here? And Izuku would be like, I came to talk to you, young man. And Izuku would be like, yeah? I saw what you done out there. That was some real brave stuff. You showed some real traits of a hero. And you used your quirk. Even though you told me you're completely traumatized. I'm proud. You will turn out to be a great hero. To be honest, I would have given you something, but I actually just gave it away today. And Izuku would be like, huh? Give what? And All Might say, no, never mind. Here. Go to this address. I want to train you, kid. Izuku's like, you want to train me? He's like, yeah. I was talking to Ozawa, and he's told me for the past 10 years he's been teaching you. Ozawa. He may not show it, but he has the biggest heart of all of us heroes. But I want to train you myself. You have impressive physical stats. I saw your speed and your strength and the agility that you displayed back there. I think you can push even more and get control onto that black flames of yours. What was that thing you were shouting? What is it called? And it looks like, Amaterasu. It's based on the goddess of, I think it's fire. Mistake me. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't wanna, I don't wanna mess all that up. But I think it's the goddess of flame. Oh, goddess of the sun. I don't know. But you guys know what I'm trying to say. With All Might saying, interesting. Alright then, kid. Give me a few days. I'm gonna make a training regimen for you. But besides then, stay out of trouble. Alright, Izuku, I'll see you. And Izuku would be completely stunned and just so happy that he's able to do this. This all started because his mentor, his master for 10 whole years has told him that he won't be teaching him no more, and that he should branch out himself, learn his abilities himself. But now he's got the number one hero, All Might, teaching him. I'm gonna go crazy. So yeah, Izuku has a week off, and that's when he goes to Deku Beach, and that's when he meets All Might. All Might will start to explain that Izuku's weaknesses, that he does not use his abilities to his fullest potential, and what he saw today feels like it was just a glimpse of his abilities. And his physical stats are impressive, but they could be even more impressive. And for guys like you, with decent strength, I don't suggest fighting like me, brute strength. I suggest, developing a style, which All am I saying? I wish I actually done myself, but I'm stuck with this. So I suggest if you want to improve, you gotta cover all the bases in these 10 months. But luckily for you, I got a regimen just for that. And Izuku would be so happy. So All Might would show Izuku that on Mondays that he would be strictly working on his physicality, so his strength, speed, durability, and agility. He'll be doing that by doing several obstacle courses that All Might, has that he does his training with. Well, used to back in the day with Nana and all that stuff. And they progressively get harder every single day. They were designed to be like that. So every Mondays he would do that. Every Tuesdays he'd be working strictly on his quirk, being able to create flames and dismiss flames, create flames to miss flames, put up the stamina of his quirk. And then Wednesdays it's going to be actually special attacks, like infusing the black flames onto a weapon or object, and etc. And yeah, Thursdays would be strategy and all that stuff, being able to use your quirk in a strategic way. So that's what Izuku would be placed in situations where he has to use his quirk to be creative and etc. Where on Fridays Izuku would be doing a combination of all those things, and it actually would be always an evaluation, you could say, to see if Izuku's improved or has stayed stagnant. And if he does, they will increase all the things he has to do in the week. And Saturdays and Sundays, it's just going to be simple, cardio days and workouts, lifting and small calisthenics, and actually martial arts training, a little there, nothing too special, just basics. So that's Izuku's training regimen for 10 whole months. Izuku would be doing this religiously, going actually extra harder than he's supposed to, with All Might seeing it completely on those Friday evaluation days and being completely impressed with Izuku. But now he has to keep up with Izuku's worth ethic and actually increase the working load. And this only benefits Izuku because he turns out his physicality is actually absurd. He's a machine. His stamina, speed, durability, it's actually insane. I'm gonna say his agility and etc. could almost be equivalent to Spider-Man's. His strength, I'm gonna say okay. Captain America level, so superhuman strength, but nothing too much like All Might stat, no, and strength, similar, and durability, similar, so it's quite impressive for Izuku, his quirk turns out to be even crazier than he thought it would be. At the end of the 10 months, All Might would be completely impressed with Izuku, seeing that his physicality is completely improved and his body type is lean, muscular, and Izuku's actually grown a little taller than in canon, so he's gonna be say 5'10" right now. So he's pretty, he's tall, you could say. He's tall, you could say. And the abilities Izuku was able to unlock this, unlock bigger flames, so engulf bigger flames and actually make the flames chase people. What I mean by that, just like the fight with Itachi and Sasuke, where Itachi was using the flame to chase Sasuke, just like that. Izuku can do that. He built it up to that point. He built up his stamina to that point where he'd be able to do that. And Izuku actually became, a little familiar to swordsmanship, so he can use a sword and engulf it with black flames. And Izuku actually got something different. He was actually able to get a different material for the scarf, and now Izuku's actually able to use black flames on the Aizawa scarf. And now Izuku, he's looking quite lethal. He's looking like a machine right now. But will it be enough for Izuku to get into UA? That's what we'll see. So Izuku says his farewells to All Might, with All Might wishing him luck, telling him that he is actually going to be a teacher at UA. So if you want to get in, maybe if you get in, you'll be taught by me and Mr. Izawa. So that's even more motivation. And Izuku would be completely stoked. So Izuku would walk in and see UA and be completely excited and start walking until he trips. But suddenly he's stopped in midair and he sees a blonde-haired girl with chubby cheeks. Well, not chubby, I don't know, whatever. Saying, "Hey, I'm sorry to use my quirk on you. I just saw you falling and I couldn't help myself." But Izuku saying, "No, it was fine, thank you." And she introduced herself saying, "I'm a chocolate Ulraka. What's your name?" And Izuku, having to build a little more confidence in these 10 months, would say, "I'm Izuku Midoriya. Nice to meet you." And she'd be like, "Yeah, can't you believe that we at UA about to take the exam? Wow, maybe we'll be heroes." And Izuku's like, "Yeah, it's crazy, I've always dreamt of, being a hero just like All Might, and now this is my opportunity to go to the exact same school as he did. Become #1 hero." And Ulraka would be like, "Yeah." And Izuku, seeing her being actually interested in what he's saying, would be like, become, red and all that stuff, and be like, "Oh, but good luck seeing you in there." With her saying, "Yeah, I'll see you," with her running away, and Izuku, just being stunned that a female actually talked to him. So yeah, Izuku would go into the building, and President Mike would start to explain that they're going to be doing written part exam and then a practical exam. So to start with the written part, and Izuku does amazing at this part. Izuku, for this 10 months, has been taught how to use his quirk more in the strategic way and etc. And he's been being taught this for 10 whole years by Aizawa, that always stay logical and analyze the situation and come up with the necessary strategy. That's been drilled into Izuku, and it really shows on the test, and Izuku gets damn near a perfect score, impressing Nezu of all people, with him personally creating the test. So they get on to the second portion where President Mike starts to explain the rules for the practical exam. Izuku will start mumbling and be called out by a red-headed, what am I saying, red? Oh my god. Blue-headed kid with glasses saying, "Could you stop mumbling? You're interrupting all your other students." Izuku frantically saying sorry. So they all head out to the assigned areas, and Izuku gets off the bus and he's completely nervous. He wishes that he could have brought in his scarf or sword, but since it's not absolutely necessary for his quirk, he's not allowed to bring it in. And in some cases he would have, if he would have talked to Aizawa or something, but Aizawa's gone cold turkey on communicating with Izuku to seeing how far he develops. So Izuku's stretching and he sees Ulraka and decides, "Hey, let me actually go and talk to her," until he's stopped by Tenya Ida himself, telling him that he shouldn't distract her, she's trying to focus. With Izuku saying, I guess. Izuku, wanting to make friends, says, "My name's Izuku Midoriya, what's your name?" He's like, "I'm Tenya Ida." And he starts talking, he says, "I'm glad that you introduced yourself, Izuku Midoriya, but I have to focus, for now the exam's about to start. I wish you good luck." And Izuku's like, "Good luck." With Ida, being impressed with Izuku's physicality, and I think Izuku and Ida would probably be the same height, right? Ida's like 5'10", or is he 6 foot? I don't know, but he's close to there. And President Mike will open the doors and saying, "A hero doesn't wait for a countdown. Go, 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 go!" And everyone will start running in, with Izuku being able to get ahead of the crowd due to his raw strength and abilities. With Ida actually being impressed because Izuku's not, Izuku's like keeping up with him, with Ida never thinking that someone would be able to keep up with him. And Izuku sees a first 3-point robot and he completely says, "Amaterasu!" and he destroys the 3-point robot, with everyone being surprised. Izuku's like, oh, that was a good one. And he sees a row of 1-point robots and just says, Amaterasu! And he sets a flame that actually goes through all of them and engulfing all of them in flames. Where Izuku's like, oh, nice. That's 7 points now. Oh, is my math right? Whoa. Did I say 3? Whatever. That's 7 now. Whatever. And Izuku continued doing this, actually impressing people. And Izuku would see someone in danger and actually take out that robot for them, seeing that they were not going to be able to handle it themselves. Izuku would actually notice that the 0-point robots actually have a button at the back of the head. So every time Izuku needs to recover, from his eyes being sore. I'm not gonna say his eyes bleed just like Itachi's and all that stuff. Maybe when he gets more into the enhanced stuff, you know what I'm saying? When I say enhanced, I mean enhanced. So until he gets then, Izuku's eyes don't really bleed. They just kind of get sore and needs to take a small break. So during that small break, Izuku would actually just be pressing the buttons at the back of the robots using his pure agility, strength, and speed, and etc. And yeah, the teachers would be impressed that Izuku's actually one of the few ones that was able to notice that button and actually is using it effectively. Izuku would be finding like Aizawa in the in the shadows, in the back ends of the corner, back ends of the city, and sneak attacking the robots and etc. And he's just stacking on top of points. So Izuku is like, dang, I lost count of how many points I have, but I don't know if it's enough. I'm gonna keep going. And Izuku wanted to pursue more points until he hears just big rumbling noise, and he just sees people running, and he looks. It was the 0-point robot President Mind was talking about, and it was absolutely humongous. Izuku was completely stunned himself, and he wanted to run himself until he heard a scream, a voice that sounded very familiar. He'll look back and he'll see it was Ulraka, and he'll be like, it's that girl from earlier, Ulraka. And he would see the 0-point robot is coming in, and she would shout, someone please, please. And she would spot Izuku and be like, Izuku, I need help, my foot's stuck. And Izuku would look at Ulraka, and his body would instantly react, going to save her. And due to Izuku's more enhanced strength, being it similar to Captain America's, he's actually able to pull off the rubber off her and carry her to safety, and not fighting the 0-point robot. And that's when the exam ends. Izuku would be carrying Ulraka in kind of like a bride type thing, just like he would, until he notices and he goes completely red, with Ulraka actually asking him to put her down, with her being completely red too. Izuku would say, I'm so sorry, I was just in the moment, I didn't think of the position. And she's like, it's alright, I'm just glad that you saved me, thank you, that was really heroic of you. And Izuku's like, no, it wasn't nothing. With him being awkward until Recovery Girl coming around saying, move out of the way, and he would kiss Uraka's injuries with her being completely healed. Izuku would be like, yeah, I guess I'll see you around, Ulraka. And Uraka's like, yeah, I hope we both get in. And Izuku's like, yeah, I hope so too. I guess I'll see you around. And yeah, Izuku would dip, being completely red. That, you know what I'm saying? Does Izuku have game or not? He does not know yet. You know what I'm saying? I hope he does, because that would be great for the what if. So anyways, Izuku goes home. Before we get back to the story, I would like to say that I have a new second channel called Eternal Gain. On that channel, I'll be uploading Naruto what ifs and any type of what ifs that I want. So if you guys are interested in that, please click on the top right corner or in the link in the description to subscribe to that second channel. With that out of the way, let's get back into the what if. And he tries to contact Aizawa, but he does not have any response. So a few days will go past, and Izuku still has not gotten a letter from UA. And at this point, he's starting to get concerned that he didn't make it at all. He thought he got enough points, but maybe he didn't. And Izuku's just having these thoughts in his head until his mother comes bursting in saying, "Izuku, it came." And Izuku would, being curling, you know what I'm saying? Just like, yeah, man, be like, "Wait, what? It came?" And he'd be like, "Yeah." And he'll grab the letter and be like, "Oh my god, it came. And it'd be, doing, pacing the room until your mom notices that maybe Izuku wants to open it himself. So she says, "Okay, I'll leave you to it, Izuku." And that's when Izuku finally sits down in his room and he closes the door and he places the letter down. He opens it up and a cylinder thing pops up. Izuku places it down and he just sees a hologram. And he would see, to his surprise, both All Might and Aizawa both doing a joint message, which has not really been done before, but they both felt like they wanted to tell Izuku the good news, because they've gotten a real good bond with Izuku. With All Might going first saying, "Ah, young Midoriya, yes, it's me, All Might." And with the reads ahead. "Sorry for the late delay. I was," with Aizawa interrupts saying, "busy with stupid press stuff." Mainstream heroes. Anyways, Izuku Midoriya, we've came to analyze your performance on the UA exam. Yes, you, Izuku Midoriya, have shown great ability and strength, and actually able to gather a total of 65 combat points. And Izuku like, 65 combat points? With All Might saying, not only 65 combo points, but you were able to get a total of 85 rescue points. Yes, you might be thinking rescue points. Rescue points are not a point of the exam, a secret point of the exam, where a hero could gain points by doing heroic acts. Oh my god, Siri, bro. By doing heroic acts, such as saving someone from a situation where their quirks are malfunctioning, or saving someone being crushed from a robot. And you, young man, have shown great heroic feats. With Izuku starting to cry and Aizawa predicting and saying, "Izuku, stop crying. We're proud of you. You really developed from that kid I met at that back alley. You've really overcome your trauma and became a great hero. And you've gotten a grand total of 145 points, placing you in first place." And Izuku's like, "First place?" And Aizawa would have a creepy smile again, saying, "Welcome to your Hero Academia." And All Might doing a thumbs up with the hologram ending. Izuku would be completely, shedding tears, like, and sending a voice message to Aizawa, just saying he's crying, like, and saying the same thing to All Might. So yeah, Izuku would be happy that he finally made it into his dream school, UA. So Izuku, a few days pass and it's finally time to go to UA. Izuku will arrive and see that the doors were massive, and he'll be looking for class 1A. He would finally arrive and he would see his doors completely massive and think, well, some people do have giant quirks, so reasonable. And he'll walk in and he'll see the two people he did not want to be in a class with. A blonde-headed freaking freak and a blue-headed control freak. It was Bakugo and Ida both arguing about Bakugo's legs being on the table. Izuku would be like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be the worst year of my life." With Ida coming up to Izuku saying, "Hi, I'm 10-year Ida," and congratulating Izuku on, understanding the second part of the exam, and he's like, good on him. And that's when everyone starts to come in, and that's when Ulraka actually comes, and Izuku sees, "Oh, hey, Ulraka," with him thinking to himself, why did I say her name so casually? Oh my gosh, she thinks I'm a freak. Oh my gosh, she thinks I'm creepy. Oh my gosh. With her actually saying, hey Izuku, and them actually striking up a conversation until Izuku realizes, like, wait, where's our teacher? And that's when the teacher will pop up in a yellow sleeping bag saying, you guys took exactly 8 seconds to shut up. And Izuku would be completely stunned that he had Aizawa sensei for his teacher, and he would be completely scared because he knows how punctual this man is and strict. So Izuku runs straight to his desk telling him, you gotta go to your seats, with Aizawa standing up saying, welcome to UA, put on these and meet me outside. With everyone being confused with Izuku doing it without doubting it. And everyone's like, oh, Izuku, aren't you a little bit concerned that we're not going to orientation? And Izuku's like, but Mr. Aizawa, he doesn't really care about that stuff. He thinks, the world is not fair, and he's not wrong. It's not. So that's why he's going to be super strict on us. So I suggest just get changed and meet him outside. And take it seriously, guys. With everyone being with Ulraka and Ida being confused, saying, okay, and they all go outside. Aizawa, just like the anime, we start going on a tangent on how life's not fair enough, stuff like that, and Izuku's like, called it. And that's when you tell him, he would ask Bakugo what was the longest throw you thrown, and he's like 65 meters. He's like, impressive. Now use your quirk. And Bakugo would have this evil smile on his face and be like, and as he throws the ball, he would say, die! With Bakugo getting, I think, 753 meters or something like that. So yeah, he just gets that, with everyone being impressed and thinking it will be fun that we get to use our quirks. And Izuku would be like, no, it's and before Izuku could say anything, Aizawa was like, fun? With him being visibly frustrated, it's like, fun? You think being a hero is fun? Alright then, let's set some stakes, shall we? Whoever comes last place will be expelled from UA, effective immediately. And everyone would be shocked, be like, what? Expelled? And Izuku would be face palming his head, like, I should have been quicker, I shouldn't see this coming. And everyone's like, you saw this coming? And Izuku's like, oh. And Aizawa's like, alright then, let's get started. So yeah, Izuku on the long jump would actually do very well, completing the whole jump, just using his physical stats, and everyone be impressed. Izuku yet again with the race, Ida would get 3 seconds, Izuku got 3.1 seconds, literally 0.1 seconds behind. And the grip strength, he gets pretty high, scoring second place behind multi-arm guy. And finally, last of all, for the ball throw, Izuku throws the ball with just his raw strength and actually gets an impressive score of, 400 meters. And everyone would be like, whoa, Izuku, did you even use your quirk? And all that stuff. And Aizawa would have a visibly annoyed expression on his face looking at Izuku. And Izuku would just be like, why is he so angry? What the heck? And yeah, so finally the quirk assessments would end and he would show the results. Izuku actually placed a very good second place behind Momo Yaruzu, who got first place, third being Bakugo, fourth Ida, and etc. With the person in last place being Mineta. Mineta would be completely terrified that he's going to be suspended, but Aizawa would just start, having that fake laugh and fake smile on that evil smile on his face, saying it was just all a ruse, deception for you guys to try harder. With all the students getting angry at Aizawa that he could just do this and all that stuff, with both Izuku and Momo knowing that it was kind of a ruse, but it could have been true because Aizawa has done that. Aizawa's literally told Izuku he has done that. So yeah. After school, Izuku be walking home with Ida until a blonde-headed girl starts joining them, saying, "Wait up, guys!" And they'll start discussing. And Ulraka would ask Izuku why Bakugo calls him Deku, and Izuku's like, Kachan, he just calls me that. It's him of insulting me, calling me useless. With her, it's been like, I didn't think of it. I thought it sounded cool. It kind of sounded like you can do it. And Izuku's like, Deku it is. With him going forward, with all of them being friends. So Izuku would get home glad that he made friends, and the next day would start. So Izuku and everyone else would head to UA, and it would be a fairly normal class, having English and etc. in the morning. Until All Might comes running in saying, "I am here, running through the door like a normal person," as he does in canon. Everyone would be surprised, and Izuku would still be surprised because, it's All Might, and he came in such an abrupt way. All Might will exclaim, "Good morning, class. Today we're going to be doing a combat exercise." And Bakugo would be smiling, saying, "Finally, some action." And Izuku would look at Ulraka concerned that he would have to use his quirk on people. But she does not know that Izuku's afraid of his quirk yet, since he hasn't even used it since he's been at UA. He did not use it in the quirk imprehension test, and that was why Aizawa was actually annoyed. Because Izuku didn't use his quirk, and did he really get over his fears? That's what Aizawa was thinking. So All Might would continue to explain that they're going to be doing a combat exercise, but every great hero has their own hero costumes, and he'll point to his right, and suddenly the walls would bring up some suitcases with all their hero costumes. So Izuku's hero costume would be similar to Itachi's Akatsuki outfit, so just because I want to do that. So Izuku would have the black robe with the clouds on it, and he would have, kunais and swords as soon as like that, kind of being a ninja, and he wanted it to be dark because he wanted to be a hero like Aizawa. And Ulraka would compliment Izuku's outfit, saying it's so cool and it's edgy, and Izuku would simply laugh it off because, to be honest, he's the complete opposite of edgy. He's quite a nerd, if he asks Bakugo. Izuku would continue to look around and see Ida's amazing costume, and he'll compliment him. And he would go around complimenting people, trying to get out of his shell and, talk to his fellow classmates. Until All Might suggests them to calm down and stay quiet. And he starts to explain what they're going to be doing in the exercise. He starts to explain that they're going to be a hero team and a villain team. The heroes are supposed to enter the building and capture the villains and capture the bomb safely, and the villains are supposed to distract the heroes until a certain amount of time or to capture them. And everyone will start getting excited that they finally get to do some real combat training with their quirks. They get to use their quirks. And that's when All Might brings out two boxes. One box named Box A and the other Box B. He would start calling out people, putting them in groups and etc. And Izuku's group, he's gonna be with Ulraka, just as in canon. So All Might would put his hand in one box and the other, and he'll pull out Team A and Team D. And this team is gonna be Izuku Midoriya versus Bakugo, Katsuki, and Tenya Ida. Well, Izuku Midoriya and, oh my god, I forgot, Ochako Ulraka versus Katsuki, Bakugo, and Tenya Ida. Bakugo would just smirk at Izuku, knowing that he can finally put Izuku in his place. He can finally stop that murderer. And Izuku would be nervous that he's going up against Bakugo, with Ulraka noticing. All Might would tell everyone to get in positions, with Bakugo and Ida going to the building, and Izuku and Ulraka waiting outside. Ulraka would start having a conversation with Izuku, saying, Izuku, why does Bakugo look at you like that? And Izuku would be like, me and Bakugo, we're childhood friends. We go way back. And she's like, that look did not look friendly. It looked malicing to me. Oh, what's up with you guys? Izuku would reply, well, Bakugo, yeah, he used to bully me. But, I stopped that from happening no more. I stood up for myself, and now he stopped messing with me. I guess he's just excited that he finally has a chance to put me in my place. With him kind of feeling down until Ulraka says, hey, we won't let that happen no more. Alright? I'm here. And we're gonna win together, Izuku. And by the way, what is your quirk? With Izuku be like, hey, what? She's like, yeah, you never showed your quirk during the quirk apprehension test, which is kind of funny. And Izuku be like, oh, I have a quirk called, Black Flames, but I call it Amaterasu, in dedication of the goddess of sun. Yeah, don't quote me on that. And she's like, oh, I've heard of that. Whoa, that means you have eternal black flames? That's so cool. Why would you not show off that quirk? And Zuko's like, well, you see, I'm not really a flashy type like Bakugo, so I really just keep to myself. The quirk adds another 10 stat boost to all my stats, speed, strength, and agility, and etc. But that's really it. There's nothing too impressive, with Ulraka still being impressed with Izuku's quirk. And that's when All Might would say, alright, 1 more minute left until the beginning of the battle. And Izuku would be like, alright, this is the plan, Ulraka. So Bakugo is most likely gonna come and attack me, alright? Because he wants to settle this old rivalry. But while that's happening, I want you to go up and try to get the bomb. If you feel as Iya is too much for you, just wait, alright? And tell me through the, what is it called? Through the earpiece that you need help, and I'll be there as fast as I can. Alright, Ulraka? Uraka's like, are you sure that we should split up? Izuku's like, I'm very sure. And I spent almost all my life being afraid of my quirk, but not anymore. And I will defeat the person who made me even more afraid of it. And him having a determined face with Ulraka saying, right. And that's when All Might will say, begin! And they'll start running in. And that's when we switch perspective about 30 seconds before All Might said begin. And Ito would ask, so Bakugo, what's the plan? With Bakugo saying, you stay here and I'm gonna take care of that murderer. And Ito would be like, why do you call him a murderer? What has he done? And Bakugo would be like, ha, that nerd did not tell you. He killed someone with his quirk back in the day. But he's just a filthy murderer. And he would just run out, blast off the room with Ito saying, wait! And him being conflicted saying, did Izuku really kill someone with his quirk? And he would be, debating that in his head and etc. And that's when you hear All Might shout go. Izuku would be running into the building with Ulraka, and Izuku would be hearing Bakugo's explosions coming closer and closer. And Izuku's like, alright, I think this is when we should split up. Alright, get up to the bomb as fast as possible. With her saying, right. They would diverge and Izuku would keep running until Bakugo would finally arrive, blowing a big explosion to stop Izuku from running. And he'd be like, what's up, murderer? And Izuku's like, stop calling me that. It was a mistake. And Bakugo's like, you can't accidentally kill someone. Now shut up, murderer. I'm gonna make you pay. And Bakugo will start dashing to Izuku using explosions to boost him even faster. Izuku with, his enhanced reflexes and etc. would be able to dodge Bakugo's first initial punch. But Bakugo would do a spin and actually hit Izuku on his side. Izuku would feel pain from this but quickly recover and go in to fight Bakugo. Izuku would charge Bakugo, recently learning his new martial arts from All Might's 10 months training, with Bakugo barely being able to block it and being impressed with Izuku's, combat experience, combat capabilities, but would brush it off, not acknowledging Izuku's strength. Bakugo would block one of Izuku's attack and then jump away using the explosions, and he would come in to do another one with Izuku quickly backflipping back, avoiding that explosion. And that's when Bakugo is saying, "Are you gonna keep dancing around and not use your quirk? God damn it, you think I'm weak? You think I can't handle your quirk?" And Izuku's like, "Bakugo, you're really starting to piss me off." With Izuku charging in this time, using his sword or katana or whatever. His sword. Yes, his sword. And Izuku would slice at Bakugo, with Bakugo blocking and using his explosions and trying to maneuver around Izuku to get an opening. But Izuku's superior speed and reflexes was able to stop Bakugo from pursuing. And with his perspectives to Ulraka and Ida, Ulraka would finally find the room, and that's where she would be standing there, and she would hear Ida talking to himself, pretending to be a villain, saying, "Ha! You finally made it to the bomb, you filthy heroes." No, that's a little too much. How about this? "You finally made it to the bomb, you filthy heroes." And Ulraka wanted to hold in the laugh, and she's like, "Izuku, hurry up, I don't think I can keep this up." But Izuku's like, "I'll be right there." And Bakugo's like, "No, you won't." And Izuku tried to run away, but Bakugo grabs him by the collar and says, "I'm not done yet." And he uses explosions. Before we get back to the story, I would like to say that I have a new second channel called Eternal Gaming. On that channel, I'll be uploading Naruto what ifs and any type of what ifs that I want. So if you guys are interested in that, please click on the top right corner or in the link in the description to subscribe to that second channel. With that out of the way, let's get back into the what if. To balance himself to throw Izuku back onto the ground, Izuku would start getting pissed off and do a kick, a kickstand to his feet, saying, "Bakugo, you know what, you've been a pain in my ass for almost 10 years. I'm gonna make the stop now." And Izuku would use Amaterasu on his sword, saying, "Amaterasu!" And he would ignite his sword with Amaterasu. And Bakugo starts smiling, saying, "Finally decided to get serious, huh?" And All Might would be looking at this battle, thinking it's getting too intense, but allow it to be. So Izuku would run in and start slicing, and Bakugo being able to dodge. And every time he would dodge the blade, he could feel the hot intensity coming out of it, and he would make sure not to get sliced by that. Izuku would keep slicing and would actually throw the sword at Bakugo, with Bakugo barely dodging it, actually able to slightly never mind. If it actually slightly touched him, he would have interrupted in flames. But no, I'm not doing that. So Bakugo barely dodging it, feeling the heat coming from the blade, and he says, "You threw your only weapon, you nerd!" And he'll come blasting at Izuku at a fast rate, and he would finally get his position and would say, "Die!" And he throws a big explosion. Everyone that was watching the fight would be surprised and say, "Oh my, do you think that's allowed?" With All Might wanting to go and run, but he would quickly wait and be like, "It's alright." And it was like, "What you mean? Bakugo almost killed the kid. What?" And it's like, "You guys need to watch closely." And that's when we switch back, and Bakugo will be smiling until the smoke clears and Izuku's not even there. And Bakugo will be like, "Wait, what?" And he would see Izuku right behind him saying, "Gotcha." And he would chop Bakugo right in the neck, completely knocking him out. And everyone would be so confused, saying, how did that happen, All Might?" All Might's like, "Izuku threw that blade as a distraction, threw that blade so Bakugo would be put at ease that he won't be sliced with that blade. So as he came in to explode, for that massive explosion, Izuku predicted that and he was prepared for that. And he used his superior strength and speed over his Bakugo to be able to maneuver around the explosion, and he was covered since the smoke was all around him, and he was able to get behind Bakugo, able to knock him out. And everyone would be like, whoa, what the? And they'll be surprised by Izuku's action, but also All Might's precise analysis breakdown. Izuku would be, thinking he knocked out Bakugo, saying, I gotta go back, until you hear Bakugo saying, you're not done. Izuku, with Izuku being like surprised, like, Bakugo, you still up? Bakugo saying, I won't let a murderer like you get away. I won't let you. You don't deserve to be here. Killers like you deserve to be in a jail cell, not be praised as a hero. I will become number one. I won't let filth like you become number one. You murderer! You murderer! And Izuku, hearing these words, triggers his, PTSD and etc. of Izuku having that flash memory of killing this man, not innocent, I was about to say innocent, but he's not innocent, but this man without his control and all that stuff, the fear he felt, and, meeting Izawa, and Izuku would start to say, no, I got over it. I got over my trauma. Just like All Might said, I pushed past my limits. No! And Izuku's eye would start to bleed and turn red like in the anime when someone does use Amaterasu. And Izuku like, no! And he'll close his eye trying to block his hand with it, saying, no, please, not again. And everyone would be looking in confusion to be like, whoa, what's going on? And All Might would be like concerned, be like, wait, young Midoriya, you're not going to. And All Might would try to rush, but as he tries to go to young Midoriya's aid, Midoriya would just explode with black flames, and he would instantly ignite the whole building with black flames, and it would just be burning. Everyone in the building, Izuku, Ida, Bakugo, Ulraka, would be extremely scared at this point, Izuku being the most scared. Ulraka would use her gravity quirk on herself and Ida so they don't get burned by the thing, and they'll be floating around, but the intense heat they feeling from it is just making them exhausted and give them headaches. Bakugo would be on the floor, getting burned by this, and and he's screaming out for pain and constant agony. And Izuku would be like, no, not now. And All Might at this point will be outside the building, but they cannot enter since the black flames are completely covering it. And if he does, but All Might, while training Izuku, felt the intense burn from this thing, and he does not want to be burned from that, so he can't do anything, and he just shouts, "Young Midoriya! Stop this! We trained for this! Stop it!" With Izuku shouting, "I can't, All Might! It's too much! My emotions! This quirk is too much for me!" And All Might's like, "Remember what I told you on that very day! Push past your limits, go plus ultra, and stop this!" And Izuku would like, and he was scream out in pain, being able to dismiss all the black flames in the building. And at this point, Bakugo would be, burning and all that stuff, but he would live. Luckily for him, he only got, I don't know what's the lowest amount of degree. I think fifth, I don't know. Whatever's the lowest, he got the lowest amount of degree. But if he kept going, he would have gone to the highest for sure. Izuku would fall down to the ground, and that's when All Might comes bursting in, and he grabs Izuku's like, "Young Midoriya, are you alright?" Izuku be like, "I'm so sorry, All Might. I thought I got over my trauma. I thought I was able to finally take hold of my quirk, but I'm just as weak as ever." And All Might's like, "It is true that your quirk took over you, but you are not as weak as you were before. Before, you would have relied on Izawa Sensei to be able to stop you or whatever. But this time, you stopped it yourself. This time, you dismissed all that flames in such a large amount of building. To me, this is only a learning experience. You have shown that you are going to be a powerful hero, Midoriya. You just have to learn control. And Izuku would be continuing crying and all that stuff. And that's when Ida and Ulraka will arrive saying, "What the hell was that?" With Uraka's like, "I think that was Izuku's quirk. He mentioned that he could generate black flames, Amaterasu." And Ida, hearing this, would, start thinking like, wait, was Bakugo actually right? Did Izuku really did kill someone? I mean, it makes sense. His quirk, it would be perfect for killing someone. And now Ida's thinking that Izuku might be, this murderer. Like, he's just thinking of things, but he's trying to stop these bad thoughts from coming to his mind, thinking of such a thing of a friend. Izuku would get up and he would frankly apologize to Ida and Ulraka, saying, "I'm so sorry, guys. I can't control my quirk." With them dismissing and saying, "It's alright. Ulraka used her quirk on both of us, so we weren't even touching the black flames at all." And Izuku would still apologize, saying, "Yeah, it's all my fault, I'm weak," and etc. Izuku and everyone would return back to the students, with Izuku being prepared to be, berated and all that stuff, told him he's a freak murderer, as he did in middle school. But as he returned, he got the opposite response. He actually got a lot of positive response, saying, "Whoa, Izuku, you got a great quirk, it's so strong." Like Shima saying, "Yeah, so manly, those black flames, oh my gosh," and all that stuff, getting tons and tons of compliments, saying Izuku's quirk has probably one of the highest, raw strength, highest potential, but if you just got a control of it, he would probably be such a great hero. With Todoroki hearing this, being disgusted that someone with a flame quirk, something that his father has, is getting such praise, and starts to build resentment for Izuku for not even knowing him, just that he has this quirk. Izuku would be extremely happy that his classmates accept him fully and that his quirk does not scare them and etc. But Izuku would still feel bad that he hurt Bakugo. So All Might would tell the class that fight took a dramatic turn. So I can't really give Izuku the win despite capturing his Bakugo from that clash. So I'll say the villain team wins because Izuku let his quirk go haywire. So by then the bomb would have exploded by default and he damaged the building. So the villains team win, with Ida being the MVP, embracing his role and etc. So all the other matches would go the same, with the same results, with everyone being impressed with Todoroki's half and half quirk, with Izuku being very interested in why Todoroki does not use his other half, his fire side, because he maybe thought, they could trade notes on fire and etc. But when Izuku tried to approach Todoroki would just be like, "I don't have time for people that can't even control their quirks," and he would walk off, and Izuku would be like, "Damn, what the heck was that for?" And yeah, so after class, Izuku would just like anime, try to meet up with Bakugo and try to apologize to him, with Bakugo saying, "You beat me this time, Izuku, but just so you know, it will never happen again," with him walking off, with Izuku being surprised that he didn't call him murderer or any of that, or killer like he always did, or even Deku. He just said, "I will just defeat you." And Izuku would think, has Bakugo changed? But brush it off, knowing that it's Bakugo. So the next day would happen and everyone comes to the class, and Izawa will walk in telling them to be quiet. and he starts to explain that he was impressed with everyone's performance, besides Izuku, having that such big backlash, he could have hurt people, and besides Izuku, everyone else done well, with Izuku putting his head down on his desk feeling embarrassed. But he'll continue to explain that they're going to be going to the USJ, where they're going to be meeting up with the pro hero, a rescue pro hero. And everyone's starting to get excited, and he'll tell them to put on the hero costumes and go to the bus. So whilst on the bus, to fill in the awkward silence, Sue would ask, "So, who do you guys think has the strongest quirk?" With Kirishima interrupting, saying, Izuku's quirk is pretty cool, with her saying, "Yeah, it's cool, but he doesn't have great control in it yet, so I can't really say it's the best quirk, because he hasn't really shown what he can do in control, so I don't know about that. Bakugo's quirk would be cool too, if he just wasn't so unimpressionable. With that attitude of yours, he won't be too famous." With Bakugo saying, "Hey!" And Sue was saying, "To be honest, I think my favorite quirk is Todoroki's. He has fire and ice. That's pretty cool on me." With everyone agreeing and etc. And Izuku saying, "Yeah, it's pretty cool, to be honest." And Usu was like, "Well, Midoriya, since you both have a fire aspect to the quirk, don't you guys think you should hang out sometime? Trade some notes?" With Izuku looking at Todoroki, with him not even being interested in the conversation at all. And Izuku would silently whisper, "I did try." And yeah, they would finally arrive at the USJ, and that's when they would see the pro hero herself, 13. Ulraka would start freaking out, saying, "Oh my gosh, it's 13, you're 13. And Izuku's like, "Oh, it's the rescue, you're 13. And they'll start discussing her feats and etc. So 13 would welcome Class 1A to the USJ, saying, "Welcome to the USJ. Today you'll be doing rescue training. The USJ helps simulate different types of rescue missions us heroes have to do. If you guys are able to master these, I'm sure you'll do fine in real life." With everyone being impressed, and Azawa walk up to 13 saying, "Where's All Might?" And she'll say, he done extra hero work in the morning, so he's gonna just chill out. With Azawa being pissed off, not pissed off, just annoyed. So 13 will start to continue explain until a mysterious black portal will start opening up, and a bunch of villains will start coming out. Azawa would see this and tell 13, "Get the kids out of here. Everyone stay together. Do not separate. It's a real villain attack. Get ready." And with him putting on his goggles and jumps down there, starts to fight. And 13 will say, "Everyone to the exit building." Azawa will hold him off. But as they start running, a purple villain pops up with a nice suit saying, "Where do you guys think you're going? You're not going anywhere." And he would teleport everyone to their locations, just as in anime, just as usual. So Izuku would be teleported, and he would be underwater, starting to freak out, saying, and that's Izuku would see a villain coming at him, and Izuku would start freaking out, saying, "Oh my gosh, does Amaterasu even work on the water? I mean, it's eternal black flame, so maybe." And he's like about to say Amaterasu, but until the villain was completely kicked by Sue, and Sue would say, "Hey, Midoriya," and she would grab him and jump out the water, jumping onto the boat. Izuku would cough out the water and thanks Sue for her assistance, until he would look up and he would see that Mineta was there, completely terrified. Izuku would be like, "What do you think these villains want?" And Sue would say, "One of them said they wanted to kill All Might. I don't know about that." And Izuku's like, think about the situation. What would Azawa do? With Mineta freaking out and etc. Izuku would say, they want to kill All Might. Well, it's teleported to us to all to different locations. But it's clear that these villains don't know our quirks. Because why would they send you here, Sue? They should have just sent you to the fireplace, with Sue agreeing. Izuku would say, anyways, we need to get off the ship. And he would notice the big horde of villains and say, maybe I could. With Sue saying, what's the plan, Midoriya? And he would ask, okay, so what's your quirk, Sue? And she's like, I basically have all the abilities of a frog. You know, can jump pretty far, have a large tongue. I can even ingest my stomach to clean it. And I think she can produce a poison or something like that. And she's like, but call me Sue. And Zuko's like, right, Sue. Minato, what's your quirk? And Minato starts to explain his quirk is pop off. He can basically take off these balls off his head and stick to anything. And the more healthy he is that day, the longer the balls will stick. But Minato does not stick to these balls. He actually reflects off them. And Izuku and Sue would not be impressed with Minato's quirk, but it would digress. Izuku would think, alright, so this plan could be useful. I'll be right back. With Sue saying, where are you going? She said. Izuku would saying, I need parts. I never thought the day would come that I could finally use this. And Izuku would be looking around the boats looking for supplies, and he would find what he needed. He would go back to the deck and start building, with Sue and Minato watching him closely. Izuku would be like, done! And Sue would say, what did you build exactly? Izuku would say, I built a bomb. She's like, Minato's like, a bomb? How's a bomb gonna save us? And Izuku's like, a bomb. I built a bomb so I can throw... Excuse me. I built a bomb so we could throw this in the epicenter of those villains. It will create a water swirl, and that's where all the villains would be caught up into it. At that point, Minato would throw his ball. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my gosh, so sorry. That's when Minato would throw his balls, sticking them all together to capture him. And Sue, you would jump both me and Minato out of it. All right? And Sue would be like, that plan could work. Let's do it. And that's when Sue would grab Minato with Izuku with her tongue and grab Minato, and she'll jump off the boat. Izuku would be like, keep it steady. And he'll throw the bomb using his superior strength and landing right in the epicenter of the villains. All the villains would be confused what this is until a giant explosion erupts. And that's when a whirlpool starts to happen, and Izuku would shout, Minato now! And Minato, while crying, would throw balls at the villains, and all the villains would be clustered up together and stuck. And they would land on the ground, all of them being so happy that plan worked. Until they saw something that would completely terrify them. They saw the Nomu, with Aizawa completely crushed with him sitting on it, with Shigaraki using his decay quirk on him. They would be completely stunned on what to do. They're like, what the? And Izuku, out of instincts, would say, get your hands off him! With Shigaraki and Nomu looking at him, and Aizawa's like, no, Izuku, you should have ran. And Izuku's like, sir, I can't just leave you like that. He's like, no, Izuku, run! And Shigaraki would be like, Nomu, shut him up, with the Nomu crushing his head more into the ground, with Izuku being more pissed off. And Shigaraki started talking, saying, what do we have here, Aizawa? And what do we have here? Eraserhead? Students of yours? Future pro heroes? You filth disgust me. Wanna be pro heroes? Fake heroes? Nobu. Crush Aizawa's head more, and he'll crush Aizawa's head more into the ground, with Izuku being more pissed off, saying, stop it! With Shigaraki saying, oh, you're mad? Good. Do something about it. But I highly doubt that you can. This Nomu has so many different quirks. It has shock absorption, regeneration, and the doctor made it to have super strength and speed, just like All Might himself. the perfect machine to kill him. And Izuku's like, oh, is that so? How about a flame that's eternal? And Izuku would be like, wait, what? And Izuku would take out his katana and his kunai, would light both of them on fire, saying, Amaterasu! And he would put a flame on them both. And he would be like, I'll make you pay for that. With Shigaraki just laughing, he'd be like, you wanna play, kid? Alright then, Nomu, attack! And Izuku, having to, and Izuku, seeing the Nomu completely rushing at him at tremendous speeds, has a flash trick similar to All Might, where All Might used to throw punches at Izuku, telling him to dodge, and as he dodges, use your flames. And Izuku's like, I've been training with All Might for these 10 months. I've pushed my body to the limit. I've done all the training that I need. I will succeed. And the Nomu would throw a punch at Izuku, and Izuku would predict the punch and move pretty enhancedly, because the Nomu was faster than him. So Izuku would dodge, and the Nomu would throw a punch, with his Shigaraki being completely surprised that a kid was able to dodge the Nomu. And Izuku would shout, yeah! And he would slice the Nomu's arm in half, with the Nomu quickly regenerating, and Izuku was like, no you won't, Amaterasu! And putting a black flame on the Nomu's arm. Well, on the Nomu's regenerating part, so it would be constantly regeneration, not being able to regenerate their freaking arm. And Shigaraki would be like, wait, no, what? The doctor said the regeneration is near instant. What the hell's going on? And Izuku would actually crack a smile the first time in the fight, saying, you're right, All Might. This was just the beginning. I'm not afraid of my flames no more. I won't hurt innocent people with my flames no more. I'll defeat villains with them. And that's when Izuku charges at the Nomu, and it would slice the other arm in half, putting a black flame on the other arm, and now the Nomu's completely armless. And Shigaraki would be pissed and be like, Nomu, attack! And the Nomu would run at Izuku, trying to kick it and stomp it. And Izuku's just, trying to be as agile as possible, and would actually block the punches with the sword. And the Nomus would be burned and just shriek for pain, going, ah! Kind of like instant pullback on there. Pullback of his leg. Ah! And the Nomu will continue attacking, and that's when Izuku's like, it's over for you. And that's when he slashes the Nomu, and the Nomu has this cut around him, but it regenerates. But while it's regenerating, Izuku creates space between him and the Nomu and said, just like you said, All Might, I will use my raw strength to become a great hero. And he'll close his eye, and Froppy and not Froppy, Aizawa, watching this battle, completely stunned that Izuku's able to stand his own against this thing, and he starts reminiscing how this kid was afraid to use his quirk, but now this kid is using it to defeat this thing that was supposed to kill All Might, and he can't do anything but laugh, not smile. With Shigaraki starting to get pissed off, saying, kill him, Nomu! And the Nomu will start rushing at Izuku, and Izuku will be like, it's done. Amaterasu built up black flame! And Izuku, what he was doing while he was closing his eye, he was actually building up, the fire, like he did in the building, like he did before, erupting the building in black flames. That's what he done right now, but onto the Nomu. And the Nomu, not just one arm, not just his arm or one piece of his body in flames, but his whole entire body bursting into flames. And the Nomu starting to shriek, trying to kick his legs everywhere and everything. And Shigaraki can't believe what's happening. A UA student is able to defeat his precious Nomu. He can't accept this. And Izuku would be like, it's done. And he'll grab his sword, and then he'll rush to the Nomu, slicing it in half, using his black flame, being able to cut through it like butter. And at this point, Izuku would have like a badass post, like Zoro after he slices someone, just like the camera at him, and the Nomu's, you just see the Nomu's back, and then like the Nomu's standing there, and then suddenly just slices in half, falls off, and continues to burn. And Izuku's like, it's done. And everyone's just completely impressed with Izuku's power, with Aizawa, just smiling, be like, glad you finally got over it, Izuku, with him finally being able to pass out. Izuku would look at Shigaraki, and this time Izuku would have blood in his eye, completely bloodshot red, and he would look at Shigaraki. He's like, you try to kill All Might, and I just can't let that slide. With Shigaraki coming, charging at Izuku, going, I will kill you, you brats! And Izuku just simply laughing and just saying, Amaterasu. And you set Shigaraki's hand on fire, with Shigaraki shrieking for pain. He's like, Kurogiri, help me! And Kurogiri would see this and bow to helping until Bakugo and Kirishima come in and stop Kurogiri, saying, I saw this metal brace earlier, but I was unable to attack because you teleported before. But I won't let that happen now. With Kurogiri unable to do anything, Izuku was able to capture Shigaraki and put him in handcuffs. And that's when All Might arrives, saying, I am here, seeing that the situation has been resolved himself. Izuku would be leaping, to All Might, capturing, with Shigaraki captured with these, one of his hands completely burnt, and him being in intense pain, and All Might would be like, wow, I knew you were going to be a great hero, but I didn't know this great. Taking down a Nomu thing and the main leader? You really are going to be a great hero, aren't you, Midoriya? And with Midoriya smiling, just going, thanks, All Might. So we start the story off with all the villains from the USA being captured and Kurogiri being restrained. But for a slight moment where the heroes were distracted, Kurogiri was able to get released from restraints and teleport outside. Kurogiri would be mad that Shigaraki was captured, but he would think of a plan. The heroes would be pissed off that they let Kurogiri go, but since they have the main boss, he wouldn't cause much trouble, as so they thought. Kurogiri would be observing outside where to take Shigaraki, and they would see him go into a police car, and that's where you'd figure out that they would take him to the max prison. I forgot what it's called, but anyway, so everyone would be giving a few days off, and finally they're back at school, and Aizawa was in class telling them, alright guys, I'm very impressed with your performance, especially with Izuku, but you were missing one thing, Izuku. You are not a pro hero. You do not have a provisional license, alright? So you should step back and wait until All Might came to save the day. But besides that, let's get into other business. The UA Sports Festival. You guys will have a week to train your quirks for the USA. Actually, there's a special division called All Might Division. All Might has selected 7 students to be able to train with All Might. He's going to be targeting your weakness sides and strengthening you up. Everyone be excited of saying the All Might training, what? With Izuku and surprise himself, hoping that he got into the All Might training. So Aizawa would start calling out names. Alright, the 7 students that were selected were Izuku Midoriya, Tenya Ida, Mina Ashiro, Tsuyu, Kirishima, Tokoyami, Momo Yaoyorozu, and that will be all. With everyone being confused, saying, what? I wasn't chosen? And Aizawa calmed down, saying, I don't know what All Might's curriculum was, but he told me it wasn't all brute strength. He just told me he was looking for something else, with Bakugo shouting, being pissed off, and Todoroki being silently pissed that he was not chosen. So we skip forward, and finally after school, everyone that's been chosen is going to be doing the All Might training. So they're all talking, thinking of what the All Might training is going to be. Saying, well, we're going to be working out quirks and etc. That's when All Might arrives, with everyone being excited, but with Sue asking why they were chosen and people like Bakugo and Todoroki weren't. All Might would just simply laugh, saying, alright. So for people like Bakugo and Todoroki, I wasn't really looking for brute strength. I was looking for people who had great potential and who done heroic acts throughout this time at UA. Since the entrance exams, I've been observing you all, and you 7 have shown me the most potential for being a great hero, with all of them being happy that All Might sees great potential in them. All Might says, don't thank me yet, your training has just started. And for the next week, all 7 of them have been put through grueling training. With Izuku's training is being able to control the flame of his quirk, because he might be around citizen, and if the flame gets too big, he's gonna hit a random citizen and they're gonna turn on fire, and that'd be a big disaster. For Ulraka, she's gonna be using her quirk in a combat based. All Might saw that when it comes to combat, she's kind of trash at that, so he's trying to get her up there a little bit, so she'll learn a little more combat hand to hand in the sports festival than she did before. With Mina, she'll be doing something similar to Izuku, controlling the size of her acid. She can't let it just spurt everywhere, because if that happens, it might hit someone, and etc. With Tsuyu, she'll be strengthening her tongue by, lifting heavy objects for a long duration of time, which actually significantly improves the muscles of her tongue. With Kirishima, he's going to stop using brute force and actually think strategically. His quirk is basic, but it can be used in ways besides than just block and etc. And Tokoyami's gonna be learn how to controlling his bird. I forgot what it's called. No, Dark Shadow, my bad. Learn how to control Dark Shadow to more an extent and try to build a little tolerance to light, but he made no progress on that since it's a major weakness of his. Momo, she's gonna be building up quirk durability and quirk stamina, so she's gonna be endlessly creating stuff just like she did at the summer camp. So for the next week, all 7 of them have been doing that, with All Might being impressed with the results he's gotten. So finally, it's time for the sports festival. So yeah, everyone would be in the locker just as in canon, but this time Todoroki would stand up and he wouldn't challenge Izuku. He would challenge Bakugo, not acknowledging Izuku's strength, despite what he's shown. He'll say, I challenge you, Bakugo. I wanna beat you and become the #1 hero just using my eyesight. With Bakugo saying, you cocky, huh? You think you can beat me with 1 quirk? We'll see about that. Izuku hearing all of this, and he's kind of disappointed Todoroki didn't challenge him. But he realized that if he wanted to change, if he wanted to be more confident in himself, he would actually need to do it. So he actually stands up and he shouts, hey, I challenge both of you to be #1, alright? With Bakugo kind of having a smile, a sinister smile, saying, Deku, you want to say that one more time? He's like, yeah, I'm going to be #1. For a matter of fact, I challenge all of you. With everyone being impressed with Izuku and starting to get turned up and starting to get ready. But with Todoroki having a disgust look on his face that, someone with a fire quirk similar to his father's is saying such nonsense. He doesn't want anything to do with his father. So they all walk out and etc. Midnight starts to announce all the classes, the hero classes, the support classes, the business classes, and the general study classes. and as per usual, and she calls up Izuku Midoriya since he came number 1 in the entrance exam. She says, "We're gonna hear an inspiring speech from our one and only Izuku Midoriya," with Izuku being completely surprised that he's been chosen. Izuku walks up there and he starts giving her a similar speech, as the likes of, "We gotta go plus ultra, and you gotta use all of our potential if we want to be the next future heroes," and doing an inspiring speech with everyone cheering at the end, with Ulraka and all the girls congratulating him. So Midnight announces the first thing they're gonna be doing, which is a race, with Izuku saying, "I don't know about that." So everyone starts to line up, and that's when Midnight shouts, "Go!" And Todoroki would throw his ice, freezing all the other competition, but most of class 1A breaking out. Izuku would be one of the first ones to break out and actually grab onto Todoroki's t-shirt. Todoroki would be like, "Get off me!" and he would try to freeze Izuku's legs, but with his superior stats, he was able to react fast enough and actually jump over Todoroki and push right off him, and setting him in the lead. Since Izuku has 10 times stats, he's actually pretty fast, and Todoroki now is playing catch up with Bakugo right behind him, smiling, saying, "Get back here, Izuku!" with him having a giant smile on his face. So it will continue to be neck and neck until they reach the minefields, just as in anime. Todoroki and Bakugo will be fighting each other, trying to get ahead of Izuku, with Izuku just kind of trying to maneuver through the minefields without even touching them. And at this point, he's very lucky. And I'm just going to say Izuku is able to clutch up and become first place, and the crowd will start roaring for Izuku that he came first place, and Izuku being completely happy. So finally the next event is about to happen, and this is the Cavalry Battle. Just as an anime, they explain that they are gonna have teams of 4, and they found out Izuku has 10 million points, the most valuable headband, and instantly Izuku was a target. Izuku struggled to finally get a partner until Ulraka pops up saying, "Hey Izuku, you want to be partners?" And Izuku's like, "Thanks, Ulraka," with him having, a tear falling down his face. Izuku and Ulraka will be looking for the next team until Hatsume says, "Hey, you're the 10 million guy. Let me be on your team." But Izuku turned back saying, "Who the?" And he would see Hatsume and he would instantly go red saying, but "Beautiful." And she's like, "What you say?" It's like, yeah, of course you could join us." Kind of him freaking out with Uraka's like, "Did he just say that she's..." Well, I must be tripping, right? And Izuku at this point is as red as a tomato because he sees Hatsume, and you know what I'm saying? It goes straight up. That's what I'm going to say, if you understand it or not. And Izuku eventually would get Tokuyami, and he agrees since Izuku and him kind of bonded that last week when they were doing the All Might training. So finally they start go, and everyone will start rushing at Izuku, and Izuku would just kind of smile saying, "I hoped you guys came. Finally I can use the All Might training at work." And he would use Black Flame, and he would spread a line, he would make a line from them and everyone else, and the flames at this point is hot as hotter than a flame. You guys know what I mean. It's very hot, and people don't want to approach it. And at this point, this takes out about 85% of the teams that want to go after Izuku, and they just start going after each other. But the two main teams that were after Izuku was Bakugo and Todoroki. Bakugo and Todoroki was consistent with Izuku, with Izuku just separating them using Amaterasu. Until Izuku kind of, his eyes started to hurt, so he calmed down on that, and that's when they'll switch to Plan B. The original plan to canon, and they'll use Hatsume's set to just float around, with them actually being able to win due to, Izuku's first initial attack and getting rid of most of the team, so Midnight wouldn't use the balls like that on them. with Izuku's team coming first place, Todoroki's second, Bakugo's third, and Shinso's fourth, and basically everything's gonna stay the same. So before the match started, Izuku would actually talk to Ulraka and say, "Hey Ulraka, you got a minute?" With her saying sure, with her being red. Izuku would say, have you ever been afraid of your quirk before? She's like, "No, I don't think I've ever have. I've always wanted to use my quirk to help people ever since I was a kid. I see people smile every time they were safe, and I wanted to keep making people smile, just like All Might actually." With her laughing and Izuku like, that's amazing. I couldn't say the same for myself. I was kind of conditioned myself to be afraid of my quirk. It's feels like a curse. And Ulraka saying, "Don't say that. Your quirk's amazing. Did you not see what you done at the combat exercise and what you did to that Nomu?" Izuku's like, "Yeah, but I burned the building down and I incinerated that Nomu." And Ulraka's like, "I only hear good things to me. It's not like you're gonna be incinerating citizens. You're gonna be incinerating villains." I'm joking. You won't actually kill them. You'll just burn them to a crisp. And it was like, "Thanks, Ulraka. I really needed this. I was getting in my head." She's like, "If you ever need to talk to me, I'm always here, Izuku. That's what friends do, I guess." And it was like, yeah. Oh, girlfriends, right? With them actually laughing off, with Ulraka saying, "Oh," and her running out the door, and Izuku being confused of the statement he made. So all the other fights would go on, and Izuku would comfort all the girls that lost. So Momo and Momo, Mina, and all the girls basically. With them feeling that Izuku's compassionate and actually cares for them, starting to develop an even huge crush on him. So at this point, Izuku has all the girls in his grasp, but he does not know that. He's clueless because he's never had friends, so he does not really have those social cues as most people do. So he doesn't know that they like him. So finally, it's time for Izuku's first fight. Izuku Midoriya versus Shinso. While Izuku's walking to the locker room, he's actually stopped by Ojiro saying, "Izuku, I need to talk to you." Izuku's like, "Yeah, what's up?" It's like, this guy going up against, he seems like he has a mind control quirk. Izuku's like, "Mind control?" He's like, "Yeah, it happened when I answered one of these questions, so I suggest to you during this fight you don't say anything to him. Alright? Beat him for both of us. Alright, Izuku?" Izuku's like, "Thanks, appreciate it, Ojiro. I got you." And he'll go off. So President Mike will announce both of their names with Izuku stepping onto the stage and Shinso's glaring at him saying, "Your class is pathetic. Especially that one girl. What's her name? Momo." Losing it that way is so pathetic. With Mono, kind of putting her head down, feeling like Shinso's right. With Izuku just having a blank stare, and Shinso's like, "That other girl, that pink one freak." Who would have lost like that? That couldn't be me. With Izuku still laughing, looking at him, and walking up to Shinso. And Shinso's like, "Oh, God damn it, I need to get this guy to talk." He's like, "You're a disgrace. You can never be a hero with that quirk of yours. It's a villain quirk. You burn people." And Izuku's still walking up to him, and Shinso at this point is being kind of afraid. Izuku's giving off this aura, this monstrous aura, and Izuku's kind of walking up to him like Asta after he transformed into his first demon form, actually defeated the guy. Head tilted, and just walking slowly, like, "Hey, that's fire." I love that scene. So that's what Izuku's doing to Shinso, and Shinso's heart is continually racing, and he's like, and he starts hyperventilating until Izuku's right in his face. And he just grabs his face, and Shinso's like, trying to stop Izuku, trying to push away Izuku's hand. But Izuku, he's stronger than him, and he just lifts him up on his face, and he just slams him to the ground, knocking out Shinso. with Izawa saying like, "Oh my god," and President Mars like, "Oh my gosh, Izawa, Izuku Midoriya just took out Shinso with one punch," and Izuku would just walk off until Shinso wakes up and is like, "You, people like you are lucky to have such a strong quirk. Unlike people like me, be told it's a villain quirk." And Izuku would just look back at Shinso and say, "Shinso, you have no idea. You have actually an amazing quirk. You just let other people, you just, oh my gosh, you just let other people, oh my gosh, you just let other people's opinions dictate what you do. Just like I used to do, but not anymore." And then walk off with Izuku smiling, knowing that Izawa was gonna take Shinso in. Seeing such an amazing quirk like that put to waste, Izawa could never allow that to happen. Other fights would happen until Izuku's fight with Todoroki was next. Izuku would be walking down the hallway until he encounters Endeavor. Izuku would be impressed with the flame hero until Endeavor would say, "Push Shoto to his limit. Makes him use his fire side." With that interesting fire quirk of yours. And Izuku's like, "I'm not interested." With Endeavor saying, "Hey, I was not asking, I was telling you." Izuku's like, "Shut up with your freaking lame flames." And Endeavor's like, "You want to say that again?" Izuku's like, "Yes, your flames could never compare to mine." And Izuku would walk off with Endeavor's like, "You little," until he gets a call and he's like, "God damn it." And he pick up saying, "What?" And it's like, "Endeavor, we need you. Bring you and All Might down here. It's bad. It's being cut off." With Endeavor's like, and he would run off and he would find All Might saying, "All Might, it's the prison. They need us there." And Endeavor and All Might's like, "All right, I'll gear up." And then they both head out to the prison. So finally, it's time for Izuku Midoriya versus Shoto Todoroki. Izuku will be on the stage and Todoroki just glaring at him. And Todoroki's like, "I will end you." And Izuku's like, "Sure." And Izuku quickly realized, as he said this to Todoroki, he realized in this past tournament, Izuku's flipped the switch completely. He's been so cocky, like his Bakugo. He was talking trash to Shinso. He was talking trash to Endeavor. Now he's talking trash to to Todoroki. Izuku at this point is like, false confidence does work, and he would get into a fine position. And that's when President Mike would shout, "Go!" And Todoroki would shoot a big iceberg at Izuku, with Izuku using Amaterasu to completely dismiss the ice shards that were about to stab him. Izuku would quickly get out the iceberg and says, "That all you got, Todoroki?" With Todoroki this time focusing less on size and more preciseness, and he would be throwing them at Izuku, with Izuku dodging them and blocking the ones that were coming at him using Amaterasu, the ones that were completely gonna get him. And Izuku's like, "Really? Come on, Todoroki, I expected more from the son of Endeavor," with him saying, "Shut up," and using more of his ice, starting to, freeze up a little. Izuku's continuously dodging, using that superior agility, similar to Spider-Man's, as I said. And Todoroki's like, "Stop dancing around and fight me." And Izuku's like, "What do you think I'm doing?" And Todoroki's like, "Die!" Being out of character, having more rage inside of him, just seeing someone else with a flame quirk and being praised, just like his father. He can't allow it. He must stop this Izuku from proceeding forward. So he continues using his ice quirk left and right, starting to freeze up. And Izuku notices this, and he actually jumps on top of the ice, saying, "Todoroki, you're freezing up. If you don't use your fire side, you're gonna lose." With him saying, "Shut up! Did my dad put you up to this?" And Izuku's like, "No, but since you don't want to use your quirk, I will end this." And Izuku finally brings out a new technique that he was developing with All Might. and Izuku just shouts, Amaterasu, black flame style, flame split! And Izuku would shoot Amaterasu at Todoroki, with Todoroki making an ice wall, but it would actually split in half and do a curve coming to the back of Todoroki, and Todoroki would be like, wait, what? And caught off guard, but just in time he would make an ice wall, but then that's when Izuku comes in and completely punches Todoroki and rocks him. Todoroki is stunned at this point, and Izuku's like, maybe if you use your fire side, this would have been a more even match. And Todoroki's like, you don't know anything about me. Why you keep saying the fire quirk? It's his quirk. And Izuku's like, are you dumb? It's your quirk. I get it, you're afraid. You don't want to use that power that's been given to you for other reasons, but I understand being afraid to use your quirk. I've been afraid to use my quirk basically my whole life, since I got it. But I surrounded myself with great people in my life, and they helped me overcome it. And you can too. And Todoroki's like, but I can't. And Izuku's like, do you want to be the number one hero? Do you? And Todoroki's like, yes, I want to be the number one. I want to be the number one and surpass All Might. I want to be great! With him erupting in flames and Izuku jumping back, just smiling, saying, what did I get myself into? With him just smiling, It's like, alright then. And he closes his eye, one of his eye, and he starts to store up Amaterasu, similar to the thing he did to Nomu. And Izuku's like, are you ready for my ultimate attack? With Todoroki's like, are you ready? And that's when he says, Izuku was right. As much as I hate him, this is still my quirk. And it'll be better for me to become number one hero using this quirk. And he would say, flash burn, whatever he says, forgot the thing. And he would use that ultimate attack on Izuku. And Izuku would be like, this is interesting. Stored up flame! And he released a giant flame of Amaterasu, and it'll clash with Todoroki's flame, and it'll just be like a struggling battle, just like Cell versus Gohan with the Kamehameha. And yeah, that's what's happening right now. And Izuku shouts, your flame is admirable, but mine is superior. Amaterasu! And he would increase the output, and the flame would completely take over Todoroki's, knocking Todoroki out of the ring, with him having some black flame on him, but Izuku quickly dismissing it, with his eye completely bleeding, and this time dripping onto his cheek. Everyone would be completely surprised of this battle. It was completely amazing, with the one-sidedness of Todoroki at the start, then Izuku with that amazing counter, and this now the struggle battle they had with Izuku winning. They couldn't do nothing but stand up and clap and just wish they had more. And President Mike would just shout, oh my god, what an amazing battle! Did you see that, Aizawa? With Aizawa himself even being impressed, saying that was an amazing battle. Todoroki finally used his flame side, but Izuku's experience with the flame and the such even harder flame was able to overtake Todoroki's flame and be able to defeat it. President Mike himself being surprised that Aizawa was talking so much. He must be very impressed with this kid, and he's actually smiling, and it's like, who is this kid? And everyone be thinking, who is this kid? And Izuku would stand up saying, ah! Putting his fist in the air, similar to All Might, making the crowd even more erupt. Izuku will walk up to Todoroki and offer him a hand, with Todoroki declining it, to saying, just leave me alone. With Izuku respecting his wishes. Izuku would go to Recovery Girl, and he'll get his injuries taken care of, and getting a bonk on the head for overusing his quirk. You know, if he keeps using his quirk, his eyes is gonna turn red and from blood, and you never know what's gonna happen. But Izuku just laughing it off, saying, oh, my bad. And yeah, so finally Izuku's in the stands, being congratulated from everyone, and it's time to find for Ulraka versus Bakugo. It's like in anime, it goes similar to the same when it's with Ulraka at the beginning, actually trying to use her hand-to-hand combat that she got from All Might, but All Might's combat, it's not really refined and it's not a martial arts, so she was just throwing random punches, not really kicks yet. With Bakugo, but he's being able to dodge them because, I mean, he fought Izuku. You know, Izuku's is significantly just increased. With him, you know, defeating her in the cruel way, you could say, like he did before. So after her loss, Izuku go to her locker and tell her that she did great, and you know, next time just develop more of your martial arts. I can I don't know, help you myself. With her saying, thanks, Izuku, but I just need a minute. With her trying to hold in the tears, but after Izuku leaves, you know, she just bursts into tears. So as Izuku's leaving her locker room, he finally just sees Bakugo, and they would have a standoff, with Izuku smiling and Bakugo smiling himself, with Izuku saying, you've been smiling more recently, Bakugo, after I kicked your ass. And Bakugo's like, is that so, Izuku? I'm ready for a match. With Izuku's like, me too. And Izuku's like, and Bakugo's like, I will take you down, Izuku. Just like always. And then walk off. And Izuku was smiling, knowing that Izuku and Bakugo finally have a proper rivalry. It's not toxic like before. They're actually proper rivals. And maybe they could be, you know, friends. But Izuku's being, you know, realistic that this is probably the most he's gonna get from Bakugo after being bullied by him for like 10 years. So finally President Mike would announce their fight, saying, it's time for the finals! It's Izuku Midoriya, the Black Flame Hero, to the right, and Explosive Blonde, the Dynamite Demon himself, Katsuki Bakugo, to the left. Are you guys ready? And Izuku's like, I've always been ready. Bakugo's like, get started with it already. You know, shout, go! But as he shouted go, a purple portal would start opening up. And suddenly, just a bunch of Nomus would just pop out. And everyone would be terrified. With the heroes trying to evacuate everyone. And everyone would be like, where's Endeavor? Where's All Might? But they'll be actually taking care of that prison situation. So the Nomus just start coming out, going rampage and stuff. But before they get touched, you know, the locals, Izuku and Bakugo would start dealing with the Nomus. Bakugo on the right, Izuku on the left. Bakugo using these explosions and his, you know, speed to be able to maneuver around and blow these Nomus up. And Izuku using his black flame to be able to destroy them. Izuku notices these guys are a different color from the Nomu he fought. They were actually white. So, and Izuku figured out these guys are weaker than that one before. So, he wouldn't need to do stored up black flame to get rid of these. He'll just need to do a normal Amaterasu flame. So Izuku and Bakugo will start, you know, getting rid of the Nomus and actually surprisingly being a great team together. With Izuku being surprised and Bakugo being surprised, but they brush it off and continue to destroy the Nomus. And we switch over to Class 1A, and they sit in the stands, and Ida would stand up saying, Class 1A, we need you. Our first priorities is the citizen. We need to get them out of here safely. And if they try to attack them, destroy the Nomu. And after that, we'll come back here and we'll destroy the Nomu. Alright, Class 1A? With them all saying, right! And they would all use their quirks to be able to guide the citizens to safety and etc. And when every time a Nomu would try to attack, Kirishima or someone else would, block it, and then someone else would decapitate it or something like that. So now we switch over perspectives to Endeavor and All Might. And they would actually be, let's just say, both flying in the air until All Might gets a call, and it's like, yes, I'm on my way to the prison. And it's like, oh my, the Nomus are attacking the Nomu are clashing. Oh my gosh, the Nomu are attacking Yue. We need your help. But All Might been like, god damn it. And Endeavor's like, it's fine, All Might. You go back there and you take care of those things. I'll deal with this prison situation. And All Might's like, are you sure, Endeavor? Endeavor's like, yes. I'm more than capable. I am the number 2 hero. With All Might just smiling, saying, alright then. And it would change his trajectory in the air, going the other way, with Endeavor going straight for the prison. Endeavor would finally arrive at the prison, and once he arrived, he could see bodies everywhere, outside, and as he started to come in, he would just see a trail of bodies, until he heard a loud shout going, ah! And instant silence after that. Endeavor would walk in and he would see it was him. It was the guy All Might fought all those years ago. All for One. All for One would be standing there covered in blood, carrying Shigaraki in his arms, and he'd turn around to see, oh, the number 2 hero himself, Endeavor. It's a pleasure to meet you. With him having a sinister smile on his face, excited to see Endeavor. And that's when we switch perspectives to Izuku and Bakugo saving citizens. And now they're using their quirks, and at this point, they racked up quite a bit of Nomus themselves. They've racked about 50 Nomus each. And they would save the Nomus, they would save the citizens from Nomus, with Izuku having a smile on his face similar to All Might, but Bakugo shouting saying, get the hell to safety! Usual Bakugo stuff. So Todoroki in this situation would actually be by himself. He decided that, his quirk is too destructive, so he'd prefer to be by himself. So he'll be taking on Nomus, and his eyesight will start to freeze up, saying, god damn it. And he's like, this does not mean I embrace you. And he uses his fire side, taking down Nomus. And at this point, Class 1A would actually save quite a bit of citizens. So was Class 1B. Actually, all the hero corps. Well, that's the only 2, I think. Anyways, yeah, they'll be saving quite a bit of citizens. And yeah. And now, after a few minutes or so, Izuku and Bakugo are starting to reach the limit. Where Izuku's having a bleeding eye, and Bakugo, and his arms will start to hurt every time he does an explosion. Izuku and Bakugo will be backed up into the corner with both of them overuse of their quirk. And Izuku's like, god damn it, Bakugo, I can't anymore. And Bakugo's like, don't quit on me, Izuku, him, his hand hurting from using so much explosions. But as the Nomus were about to attack them, that's when, boom, a big staturing man about the size of 7 foot would arrive with a big smile on his face, saying, I am here. Izuku, Bakugo, you have done well by taking down these Nomus, and thank you for lasting long for me to arrive. But no need to fear, because I am here. And looking at the Nomus, and he'll look around if there was any citizens around, but there was none left. So All Might's face went from smiling to a big angry face, saying, you Nomu have hurt my students. You have traumatized them. And now I'll never let that go. And All Might would continue to destroy 100 Nomus by himself in a second. And Izuku and Bakugo would see this, and they would know this is the strength you need to be the number 1 hero. With them having just their mouths wide open. All Might would dispatch with all the Nomus in the vicinity, saving Class 1A and Todoroki when he was at close to his limit. Izuku and Bakugo would both see that everyone's safe and all the Nomus were dealt with. Izuku would look at Bakugo and just smile and pass out, with Bakugo saying, "You idiot, you over-exhaust yourself," with him passing out too. So everyone that was critically hurt would be sent to Recovery Girl to heal up. And Yue would stop classes for about 2 weeks, for since they have a bunch of negative press on them. So hoping to get rid of the negative press, Yue actually decides to have a meeting or conference, whatever. What is it called? Press conference. Yes, a press conference to establish what they're going to be doing. Nezu would go up to the mic and he would clear his throat, saying that they're very sorry for the incident that happened at the USJ, and they are sincerely sorry to the families that lost their lives there. But we are glad that damages have been kept to a minimum, and only a few percentages of people have been hurt or died. So this is kind of much worse, but that's no excuse. And for the concerned parents, word for the child's well-being, they've implemented a new system, a dorm system. They're going to be having on-campus dorms to maximize the safety of the kids at UA. Everyone would be going out right faces like, "You think this is a good idea?" Whatever. With Nezu just walking off, saying all that he needed to say. Izawa would go up to the mic and said, "Any more questions?" With them all interrupting her. No. What happened to Endeavor? He seemed to disappear during the sports festival. He could have been very helpful. Where is he now? And Izawa was like, "Endeavor was called in for a mission. I'm not sure of where it's about right now, but I'm sure number 2 hero of Japan is completely fine." One last question, and it was like, and he picks one, saying, What are you guys prepared to do to keep your kids safe from the hero killer Stain? And Izawa was like, "I'm not sure how this applies, but sure. The heroes are working diligently to get rid of this hero killer called Stain. We will sure deal with him as we do with other villains. If that's all the questions, thank you." With him ending off at the press conference ending. So finally, after the 2 weeks had finished, everyone will return back to class. Everyone would be in class, and it wouldn't be as loudy as it was before, but quiet. Everyone thinking back to that traumatizing experience that they had. Having to fight so many Nomus at a certain amount of time. Oof, that would traumatize me, for sure. And Izawa would walk in saying, "Good morning, class. Everybody settle down." Alright, so I guess I'll address the elephant in the room. Saying that the number 2 hero is completely fine. He encountered someone at the prison cell that was completely out of his league. And so it's like, what villain's completely out of the number 2 hero's league? Izawa just saying a monster. But anyways, now let's address the sports festival. Before the finals could happen, the sports festival interrupted as Nomus, you could say. And I would like to thank you guys for having such a quick response, and keeping the citizens safe. You guys are really using what I taught you in real life. And you guys are so young. You shouldn't have to experience such a thing so early in your careers. You don't even have your license yet. But we digress. And since only a few agencies send letters, we won't be determining your performance on the sports festival based on that. But Nezu was actually tracked, looked at all the recordings of all your fightings, and has placed all you guys in your best performance. So here it is. In first place, we got Izuku Midoriya Izuku Midoriya, he was the one that dealt with the most him and Bakugo dealt with the most normals. They both had very similar scores, but Izuku, having to save people with a smile on the face, has actually put them at ease, so he got more points for that. And as I mentioned before, in second place, Katsuki Bakugo. Just like Midoriya, he reacted swiftly and quickly to the situation, and he did save citizens, but he did not put them at ease. One of the most important jobs of a hero is to put someone at ease. So if Bakugo put the people at ease, he would have gone the same score as Midoriya, but he did not. So yeah, you're gonna start to list out everyone else with Ida being third for being a leader and all that stuff, and continue. And then last place would actually be Todoroki, because he did not decide to work with everyone else and evacuate everyone. He went to an isolated place for himself where he could contact other heroes and decide to fight them all himself. It's not what a pro hero should do, with Todoroki being completely pissed off. But as I was like, so anyways, like I said earlier, there weren't much hero agency offers, but there were some. So everyone got at least one, so no need to worry. And yeah, just pick from your options, the people who can. So yeah, everyone will start looking at who they got. I'm gonna say Ulraka still gets Gunhead. I'm gonna say everyone. Oh, my bad. Everyone gets the exact same people that they did before, except Izuku. Izuku would actually get an offer from the Endeavor agency, and he'll quickly accept that offer. Even though Endeavor is a jerk and all, he's still the number 2 hero, and you can learn a thing or two from him. So everyone finally moves into the dormitories, and just like in the anime before, all day energy was low and all that stuff, so they decided to do the dorm competition. And just like that, Izuku's room this time is not going to be just filled with All Might. He has All Might, Aizawa, and it's not so emo. No, it's not. No, it is a little bit emo and all that stuff. Kind of similar, just slightly similar to I forgot his name. Oh, Tokuyami. Kind of there. So that's what Izuku is, So everyone would go to sleep and etc. And Izuku would wake up to go and get some glass of water in the kitchen, until he hears another voice. And he would turn on the light and he'll see it's Momo. And he would see Momo in her pajamas, and he can see some stuff. And he'd be like, "Oh, hey Momo, you're up too?" She's like, "Yeah, I couldn't sleep." Izuku's like, "Yeah, me too." He's like, "Yeah, dry throat." And she's like, "Yeah, I couldn't actually stop thinking about you." And Izuku's like, "What you mean?" She's like, Izuku, I felt like I need to tell you this. I have a big crush on you." And Izuku's like, wait, you have on me?" It's like, "Yes, and I wanna, study." And Izuku's like, "Study? Study?" And she's like, "Yeah, is that cool with you?" Izuku's like, "Bet!" And Izuku and Momo, will continue to study for the rest of the night, with Mineta hearing this and being extremely jealous of Izuku and wishing death upon him. Because he's living the dream. Shout out to Zeta for the clapping. So anyways, yeah. Everyone would head out to the agencies, with Izuku going with Todoroki to Endeavor's agency, where Todoroki having way less hatred for Izuku than he did before. So arrived there, and Endeavor would be all bandaged and stuff like that, and he would say, Shoto! And completely hug Shoto, completely ignoring Izuku. So this will continue for the next 2 days, and Todoroki had actually started to feel bad for Izuku, that Endeavor is completely ignoring him, until he starts to snap on his father, saying, "How could you just ignore Izuku?" and all that stuff. When Endeavor's starting to be annoyed, it's like, "Fine, I'll pay attention to the brat." And he'll say, "What do you want?" And Izuku's like, well, I was hoping here for you to teach me something. He's like, alright then, show me what you got. And you would show him Amaterasu, and he'd be impressed with, you know, the intense flame of it. And he would say it's slightly similar to the goddess of the sun. And Izuku's like, yeah, that's why I named it that. And he's like, alright then. So, have you ever thought to manipulate it? And Izuku's like, manipulate? So yeah, everyone else's internship will go to exactly the same, no need to cover that. And Izuku would actually start to enjoy his agency, you know, his thing with Endeavor, and starting to bond with Todoroki, with them starting to become friends after Izuku asked him, yo, you wanna place a prank on your dad? And Todoroki's like, bah! And you know, they'll place a prank on him with Endeavor sitting on Izuku's black flame, with him actually feeling it, going, Shoto! And you know, them kind of laughing over it. So yeah, and this timeline, and this what if the normal attack on Hosu City would not happen, and Stain would not kill he would not attack, since Shigaraki's actually been hurt, you know, due to Izuku and all that stuff. And yeah, that attack would not happen. But Shigaraki would actually still try to recruit Stain. And he would be like, yeah, welcome Stain. I've heard quite a bit of you. I want you to join my organization. Become a part of the League of Villains. With him just saying, no, I have no need to be a part of an organization full of fake villains. And he'd just walk out of there. Shigaraki being completely pissed that someone dismissed him like that. And he says, Kirigiri, kill him. But Kirigiri's like, I cannot do that. He just let him be. We don't need him anyways. And Stain would be completely mad that Shigaraki had the gall, the guts to ask him being a part of such an organization, that he actually goes online to make a video. He starts going on a tangent about fake heroes and all that stuff about, you know, this propaganda. It's been, you know, there's no more true heroes and all that stuff. And the video would go absolute viral, getting media press and everything. And everyone would be on edge for this video, thinking it's kind of true, and they don't know what to think about it. And actually, Dobby, Toga, and Spinner would all be inspired by Stain's video, and actually start to become villains themselves. They would not join the League of Villains, but Dobby and Dobby and Toga would actually run into each other, and they'll both bond over liking Stain, and they'll later find Spinner, and they would all start the organization called True Heroes. True Hero Killers. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so this what if they're not part of the League of Villains? So the League of Villains kind of understaffed right now. So Izuku would be on his way to class until he just sees a random face pop out of the ground, and he's like, hello? With him saying, so you're him. Okay. With him going back into the ground, and Izuku's like, what the heck was that? And that's when he's actually called into All Might's office. Izuku would walk in, and he would see the guy's face, and like, you're that guy that was earlier. What are you doing here? And All Might's like, you met? Oh. And Miro's like, oh, my bad. I just wanted to scout him out. And Izuku's like, wait, you're Mirio. You're part of UA's Big 3. And he's like, yeah, I guess you heard about me, huh? Sorry about earlier. I just wanted to see you. All Might kept talking about you, and I wanted to see the prodigy he was training. As I wouldn't say I'm a prodigy. So All Might, why'd you call me here? And All Might's like, yeah, I want you to meet young Mirio. He's the other person I've been training. And he's just like, oh, wow, okay. I didn't know that. He's like, yeah, that's why I wanted you guys to meet. I feel like you guys will be great heroes. And I want you to have connections, young Midoriya. Mirio is a third year, so he could teach you as much as he can. If he wants to, Mirio's like, of course. Anything you want, Izuku, I got you. It's just like, great. And All Might would be like, I'm leaving you two to get to know each other. And yeah, so Izuku would start to get to know Namiro and all that stuff. And All Might will be thinking in his head that he wants these guys to bond because he feels like these guys are the future. With the future one for all and Izuku. It's such a powerful quirk. They could be an unstoppable duo. So he's trying to get that started right now. Right now. So yeah. Now it's time for the final exam season. Everyone is stressing about doing the written part and the practical part, and everyone's studying religiously. And Momo actually offered, Izuku if they wanted to study again, saying it a little out loud, saying studying, and Momo and Kirishima's like, wait, studying? Wait, you guys are actually gonna study? Yo, count me in, guys. We're studying at Momo's house. And everyone will start inviting themselves to Momo's house, with her being disappointed she can't actually study with Izuku. And Izuku would be like, it's fine, Momo, you study with them. And it's her being like, I didn't. Stuck to study with these guys. With Ulraka witnessing this encounter and be like, what the hell's going on? With her being confused, thinking, is there something going on between those two? Her being jealous. So yeah, they're doing all that, and it's finally time for the written part. And just like anime, I'm not going to change none of that. Everyone does the exact same they did before. So everyone's getting ready to do their practical part until Izuku and Bakugo actually call into Nezu's office. Izuku be walking Bakugo saying, what do you think we're calling in? And Bakugo's saying, I don't know, nerd, so stop talking to me. And Izuku's like, stop talking to me like that, bro. We almost died together finding those Nomus. We're friends now. Bakugo's like, who promoted you? With them start arguing and all that stuff until they got to Nezu's office. Nezu would sit down saying, oh, please sit down. Tea? With them both declining. And he's like, alright then. I wanted you guys to put you at ease and say you guys are not suspended at all. I know that. It's nothing bad. With Izuku went, oh my god, finally be able to be the Bakugo, saying, as if you could expel me. And Nezu would be like, alright. This has never been done before, but the Hero Association saw your efforts during the sports festival, and they both found it fit for you guys not to be able to do the final exam. They feel like that you already passed it. And Bakugo and Izuku be like, dapping each other up, with Bakugo realizing he dapped up Izuku, and him kind of shaking his hand off, saying, you nerd. And he's like, come on. And it's just like, I'm not done yet. And he's like, oh. They also feel that both of you have earned your provisional license exams, your provisional licenses. With them both being shocked, like, wait, what? So yes, you guys have shown tremendous amount of growth. And the way you guys handled that situation with the sports festival, this has never been done before. But he feels that you two have earned it. So, yeah. You guys have your provisional license exams. And with them both celebrating, but then just like, but I will not be giving it to you guys just yet. I'll be hanging on to it. I'll give it to you guys around the time where your class will be taking it. So, try to keep this to yourself, you guys. Alright? With Nezu smiling, with them both being happy. Bakugo saying, I'm ahead of you, Izuku. It looks like we both got our licenses. With him kind of growling. So everyone does their final exams, and everyone fails who fails, and everyone passes. And Izawa tells them they're going to be doing the summer camp, and he tells them that they should get ready. So they all head to the mall. And everyone starts talking, they all need to get the stuff, and they all separate. And the only two that are left there is Izuku and Ulraka. And at this point, it's awkward. Izuku quickly realized from his past conversations with Ulraka that she likes him. After Momo expressed that, her feelings to him, and they studied, he quickly realized how it looks like when a girl likes you, and in an emotionally way and in a sexual way. So Izuku's like, oh crap, I don't know how to handle this. And Ulraka just straight up looking at Izuku and says, are you and Momo going out? And Izuku's like, not necessarily. And she's like, so then you're single? And Izuku's like, yeah. Yeah. And Ulraka's like, great. Alright then, Izuku, can we? Until he's interrupted by some weird guy in a hoodie saying, hey, it's you. You're Midoriya from the sports festival, man. You done great. And it's like, thanks, man. Trying to get the guy's hand off him, but the guy quickly brings him closer and says, if you make any sound, I'll kill you and her in an instant. Grabbing her too. And they quickly realize it's the Shigaraki guy. And Izuku's like, how the hell did you escape? And him saying, that's for me to worry about. But I have a quick question for you, Midoriya. Midoriya's like, what the hell do you want? It's like, please tell me why is everyone so goddamn inspired by this Stain guy? He makes one video and suddenly he's the town of the talk. He's the town of the talk. He has an organization that's inspired by him. It's frustrating. So tell me why. Why him? Why is everyone liking him and not me? And Izuku's like, is that's all you really want? It's like, yes. Tell me that and I'll leave. And I'll release your little girlfriend of yours. With him saying, she's not that bad. And Izuku's like, you shut up, you maniac. He's like, answer my question. And you both live. And Izuku's like, it's probably because he asked a message. He actually has something people can relate to. Not just chaos. Not everyone's like that. Not everyone's just born that wants madness. Not everyone's like you. And Shigaraki starts to laugh saying, is that it? Is that it? Oh, wow. I should have thought that myself. Thanks, Izuku. And he was like, alright then. You and your foxy girlfriend can go at it. I'll just dip. With him saying, hey, you're not going anywhere. But he can't use Amaterasu because he has a crowd all around him. And that's when he quickly realizes All Might was right. And he needs to learn how to control his flame more precisely to the point where he can maneuver through freaking the clouds. And that's he sets his new goals to. And yeah, Ulraka would be terrified. And that's when they call the police. And all that etc. goes the same as in anime. So finally it's time for the summer camp. And they'll be on the bus and all that stuff. And this time Ulraka would be briefly sitting next to Ida. And she's like, Ida, do you know if Momo and Izuku are dating? He's like, I don't think so. And why are you so concerned about this? We should be on it. And she's like, please, not right now. I need to talk to Ida. Come on, not this class president. And Ida's like, fine. And then he quickly remembers something of Midoriya. He's like, wait. And he remembers what Bakugo said to him. That Izuku murdered someone and all that stuff. And Ida, all this time, has not had that off his mind. Well, a little, since the sports festival, he's been distracted by that. But now it's brought back. And he's like, hey, Ulraka, do you ever think... do you think Izuku could ever kill someone? She's like, what? No. He would never. Izuku? He couldn't. And Ida's like, but what if... And then the car stops with Azael's like, alright then, everyone get out. And you know, all that stuff that goes the same. They fall down. And they have to fight through the forest. And all that goes the same. I'm not going to change any of that. And they meet Koda. And he punches Midoriya. With Midoriya having slight resistance to it. Because their ability. But he still falls. Because it still says an error. And all that stuff. So the next day they come back. They see that their quirks have not evolved. And yeah, to do the training. Izuku's training. Just like he said. He wants to control more. Be more precise. And that's what he's looking forward to. Yeah. And at Endeavor's agency. He's been, working some bit of that. And yeah, we'll see if Izuku's training pays off. So they do that. So after training and all that stuff, Ulraka go to Ida. It's like, what were you saying earlier about Izuku? And Ida's like, Fine, I'll just tell you. Bakugo told me all the way back from the combat exercise that Izuku killed someone when he was a kid. And Uraraka's like, would be shocked. She's like, no, it couldn't be. Wait, what? It can't be. And he was like, I'm not sure if it's true, but I can't just get this off my mind. The thought of a friend of mine killing someone, I don't know what to think. And Uraraka, out of impulse would tell Mina, and Mina would tell Sue, and Sue would tell and it would spread through the whole class. And at this point, everyone knows this secret. And yeah, Todoroki would hear this and be shocked, like, there's no way, Izuku? And you think back to Izuku and him bonding, all that stuff. It's like, Izuku could never, and all that stuff. It's just starting to brawl up with Bakugo having little to no knowledge about this, dismissing whoever tries to come to him. And yeah, at this point, everyone in the class knows. So everyone in the class would be making dinner and be finished. And they'll start talking until Ida gets serious and says, Izuku, can we all talk to you? And Izuku's like, yo, what's up, guys? What's going on? And they say, tell us the truth. And Izuku's like, the truth of what? Bakugo told us that you killed someone when you were a kid. But Bakugo's like, huh? When did I say that to you? It's like, you did. You told me in the combat. And he's like, oh, that was just a stupid rumor I made up as a kid. It's messed up, but it was funny. And everyone's like, Bakugo, how could you? But Izuku has a serious look on his face and says, it's true. With everyone going like, wait, what? With Bakugo being surprised himself, saying, wait, what? What'd you say, Izuku? It's like, I did kill someone. And everyone would just take a step back. It's like, Izuku, what happened? Izuku's like, oh, I was 4 years old and I went to the dark alleyway and this man, he wanted my money from me. He started beating me up. And then my quirk first activated and enveloped the man in my quirk, and he burned to death. And that's actually how I met Mr. Zhao. That's how I actually started training with him. He witnessed all of that and he took me in, made me a hero. That's why I was so afraid of my quirk for all these years, because I killed someone and I never forgave myself. With all of them completely horrified, having this shocked expression on their face. Even Bakugo, all of them is just like, wait, what? Oh my god. And Izawa would just be hearing this, and King Vlug just kind of standing at the door, with the eyes closed. Both of them knowing the situation and reading the case. And Izuku would just be like, I'm sorry if I deceived you. And he pick up his plate and it's like, I'm gonna give this to Koda. With Ulraka saying, Izuku, wait! But he'll be out the door already. And they would start discussing, like, oh my god. And they'll all just be, I don't know, I don't want to say flabbergasted, but they'll all be speechless. So we switch perspectives to Izuku, thinking, should I have told them the truth? And Izuku's like, I had to. If they're gonna be my friends, they're gonna have to learn sooner or later. Let me not think about that. Let me just give Koda his food until he arrives to see this bulky man about to punch Koda, saying, die, kid. Until Izuku's like, you stop there! And he'll dash and actually grab Koda just in time, jumping back. It's like, who the hell are you? You're that kid. You're that Black Fire kid. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, you're the exact person I need to kill. Oh, that's great. And Izuku's like, kill? What the hell are you doing here? Well, my organization wanted me to actually come here and kill someone and capture another one. But, I digress. And you're matched the description. You wouldn't know Akatsuki Bakugo, wouldn't you? He's like, Bakugo? What the hell do you want with him? I told you to capture him. Anyways, let's stop with the talk. And Izuku tries to put out his phone and call Aizawa, because Aizawa literally told him that always call for a pro hero. And he tries, but his phone died. And Muscle's like, you trying to call for help? And he'll break Izuku's phone, having no hope of communications. And Izuku would go in a ready stance, saying, God damn it. Izuku would place Koda on top of a cliff to have a bird-eyes view of the fight. And he's like, Izuku, don't! You're gonna die! And Izuku's like, well, that's what I signed up to be when I decided to be a hero. It would get into a fighting style with Muscle, and Muscle's like, you think a pipsqueak like you could defeat me? And he would run at Izuku, and Izuku would dodge him just slightly until Muscle just unleashes on Izuku and he starts destroying him. Grab Izuku, slamming into the ground, stomping on him as Izuku's coughing up blood. If it wasn't for his enhanced, durability, he would probably die. And Izuku would be coughing up blood, saying, with goes like, stop! Stop! You're not a hero! Just run away! Run away! And Izuku's like, what type of hero would I be if I just ran away? And he'll start to slowly get up, and he says, anyways, I fought people stronger than him. This guy's nothing. Muscle's like, I'm nothing? Alright then, kid. You're kinda starting to get on my nerves. And he'll take out his thing, and he's like, since you're saying I'm weak, how about this? And he's like, that's perfect. And he's like, huh? So he's like, I've been trying. I wanted a situation for me to use these, but I wanted you at the strongest, and this seems to be the strongest you. So if this doesn't work, I'll definitely will die. When Muscle's like, screw you! And you run at Izuku, and Izuku's like, black flame, Amaterasu, black spikes! And Izuku would summon Amaterasu flames, but they would turn into spikes. All around Izuku. 4 would summon in front of Izuku, when Muscle being surprised, and Izuku would just say, you're done for. And the spikes would go to Muscle and completely hit all of them on him, and he cough out blood, like, how could it pierce through my and he'll start to yell, from the extreme heatness and pain that he's going through from these black flames. Izuku would just smile and say, I didn't think they were that strong. I guess Endeavor was right. And you have a flashback to Endeavor saying, could you manipulate the flames? And Izuku's like, no, it just seems like it just look at a place and that's where the flame was summoned. And Endeavor just scoffed, saying, and you had the gall to say your flame's superior to mine. And Izuku's like, it is. And he would be like, if it's so superior, how can you not manipulate it? A true flame you'll be able to manipulate to make it bend to your will. Seems to me you've been bending to your fire's will. Pathetic. And Izuku would have another flashback to him working on it at Endeavor's agency and then perfecting it at this summer camp, and say, I guess training really does pay off. And then he would completely run to Muscular, and Muscular being stunned, Izuku would completely knock out Muscular and being victorious, and Koda would see Izuku all bloodied up, and he didn't give up no matter what, no matter how difficult it looked. And so now he has, a deep desire for heroes. Not desire. You guys know what I mean. So Izuku would run to Izawa and find him, and he would give Koda to him. And Izawa's like, what the hell's going on? Izuku's like, I fought this muscular guy. He's after Bakugo. He wanted to kill me. And yeah, I gotta go. I gotta find Bakugo. And Izawa's like, wait, Izuku. And you notice that Izuku's eyes completely bloody. Completely bloody. And him taking back Koda. This time, in this what if, they weren't doing the exercise outside and all that stuff, so everyone's not completely spread out. But due to the gas guy, he was completely able to knock out most of the students. Besides the bunch that were able to run to the forest and etc. Which is Todoroki and Bakugo and Sue and Ulraka. Those are the only ones I really want. So anyways, Izuku finally catches up to Bakugo and Todoroki and he sees them fighting this sword teeth guy, and Izuku just says Amaterasu. And that's when he engulfs the guy in the freaking black flame and it's like, it hurts and it hurts, and his teeth starts to melt, because it's metal, and Izuku's like, he's dealt with, and he dismisses it with the guy completely knocked out. And Bakugo's like, hey, I had that handle, nerd. Izuku's like, it's not time for this. You're being targeted. I faced one of the big bad guys. She told me that he's after you and they want to kill me. And Bakugo's like, alright, whatever, Izuku. Izuku's like, alright, let's stay close. And they start walking, and that's when they encounter Ulraka and Sue. This time not being pressed by Toga since she's not there and etc. So yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, they all be walking until the ball guy comes and he captures him, and Izuku comes up with the same plan as an anime. And he cannot use Amaterasu at this point because his eyes completely bleeding and it would just be too much damage. So Izuku would be on the floor trying to go to Bakugo. It's like, Bakugo! But he'd be taken away by the marble guy. So, yes. And Izuku would pass out. Izuku would wake up in the hospital as an anime. And he would see all of his classmates right beside him. And Izuku would be like, guys, you came. And they're like, of course we did, Izuku. And it's like, even if, then Ida would stop saying, no, Izuku. We all talked it over. We don't care. And like, what? We understand, the quirk awakenings are so dangerous. And I'm sorry that had to happen to you at such a young age too. All we know is that you're a great person, Izuku. But Izuku's like, thank you, starting to have tears in his eyes. But then he's like, well, let's get down to business. What are we gonna do about Bakugo? And I have the discussion as an anime. And they all have the exact same argument. And the people that decide to save Bakugo, the same people that decide to save Bakugo, go and save Bakugo. That's what I try to say. Oh my god. So anyways, that all goes the same, where Bakugo's saved by the League of Villains and he starts talking and all that stuff. And that's when All Might comes through saying, I am here, and coming with obtaining everyone and all that stuff. All that stuff goes the exact same. Even up to the plan where they try to save Bakugo. So anyways, yeah, Izuku comes up with the plan and they proceed with the plan with all of them flying up. And this time Izuku's not the one that's up there, because he doesn't have a boost enhancement quirk as one for all and all that stuff. So he's at the floor with Momo and Todoroki. So they're all that, and Bakugo blasts off, and Momo and Todoroki's like, let's go. And Izuku's like, I'm staying. They're like, what are you doing, Izuku? And Izuku's like, get out of here. And they're like, Izuku, we won't stay. And he activates Amaterasu to separate them and tells them, go. And they're like, Izuku, we can't. And Izuku just jumps over the fence. And that's when All Might is fighting all for one. And Izuku jumps over the face, and All Might's like, Izuku, what the hell are you doing here? Izuku's like, I need to save citizens. And All Might's like, alright, just go and save them now. The casualties are up there. The buildings are falling apart. Get rid of them. Use your quirk to incinerate the blocks, alright? And Izuku's like, yes, All Might. And Izuku, despite being scared, would do his job as a pro hero. And yeah, and he would start rescuing people. Because Izuku figured out that, he has his pro license exam, even though Nezu's holding it for him. He's technically was giving it by the Hero Association, so he's kind of inbound. It's kind of a gray area right now, but he does not care. He just wants to save people, so he continues to save people. So All Might versus All for One. The fight will go similar to anime, and they'd be exchanging punches, but finally getting to the point when All For One using that amazing thing where he uses multiple quirks, and All Might's using All For One for All on one hand, and they clash throwing a punch. But this time, something different goes, something slightly happens. So as they're doing that punch, All For One quickly thinks, I'll use all my strength too. And he has a knife quirk on his other hand, and he stabs All Might where his injury is, and All Might just goes and he completely, he's One For All completely dismisses, and All Might just falls to the ground coughing out blood, and All For One starts to laugh saying, I've done it, I've defeated you, All Might. One For All is finally mine. And Izuku's like, All Might? He would witness All Might be stabbed, and everyone else did. And they'll all be shocked, being scared, like, oh my gosh, All Might's dead. With Bakugo and all those guys watching it and having a shocked expression on their face. And Izuku would have the biggest expression on his face, saying, All Might! And the tears would start going down his face, like, All Might! And he would look at All For One, and All For One's like, it's that brat. And before All For One could do anything, Izuku has this giant flame of freaking the darkest flame ever go right onto All For One, and All For One is instantly burning, and he's getting already first degree burns, and he's like screaming like, ah! And he's trying to pat it out, but it doesn't do anything, and he tries to do a quirk at Izuku, but he misses because he's in agony, and he teleports to the doctor, and he's like, doctor, and the doctor's like, oh, sir, what the, and he tries to get the extinguisher, but nothing happens, and that's when All For One starts to accept his fate. He's like, no, it can't be this kid. Who would have thought I would have been stopped by a brat for 100 goddamn years? And All For One dies. All For One, his body is completely charred. All the black flames just misses. And the doctor's looking at All For One's body, just completely shocked that the criminal himself died. And he's like, what the? And that's when we switch perspectives back to All Might. All Might would be lying on the floor. Izuku would run to All Might saying, All Might, please don't die. With All Might waking up going, Izuku, it's not safe. You need to. And Izuku's like, shut up, All Might. Oh, we need to get you to the hospital. We need to. Oh my. What if? And he starts freaking out, and All Might would place his hand on Izuku's neck, saying, Izuku, it's too late for me. It should have been too late for me 10 years ago. I guess Night I was right. Coughing out blood, and Izuku's like, no. Oh my, you can't die, please. Everyone still needs you, everyone at school. Oh my, please. Please don't do this. Please. And almost like, Izuku, training you and young Miro has been one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. You truly have one of the greatest potentials I've ever seen. Far surpassing even my own. And it looks like, don't talk like that, All Might. You're gonna make it through. We just need a medic. Medic! Izuku, I need to tell you something. The reason why I had you and young Miro meet each other is because he has my quirk. He's like, your quirk? What the? Yes, he has my quirk. It's called One For All. I told you slightly about it. How that's why I go out this form. This was like, yeah, what about it? I gave him my quirk. He's the future. And I want you to be in part of that future too. Because I truly believe you have potential that's equivalent to One For All itself. Zuko's like, stop talking, All Might. Please, please. No, you can't leave us. Who's gonna be the number one hero? Who's gonna be a symbol of peace? That won't matter. Because I realized I was wrong. The symbol of peace shouldn't just be one person, one strong person. It should be a multitude of heroes. It should be... Everyone should be a symbol of peace. That's one mistake of my life. And my other regret is not meeting you soon in my life, young Midoriya. Give everyone my regards. It's been great meeting you, young Midoriya. And All Might passes away. Izuku completely erupts in emotion and just screams, All Might! All Might! With it echoing, and the helicopter hearing this actually goes to him and sees that All Might's completely dead, and the reporter says, it seems to be that All Might has died. And it seems once everyone heard those words come out of her mouth, it's as if the world stopped itself. Everyone couldn't believe that the symbol of peace, the person everyone's admired for years, has just died. And everyone that's watching on the jumbo screen is just shocked. Even Shigaraki watching it is shocked, not knowing about the All For One news yet. He's like, oh, Master did it. And everyone's just shocked. Until the doctor comes in and he's like, Shigaraki, come through, step through. And Shigaraki's like, huh? And it's the portal. And he steps through and he's like, what the hell are you? Master? What the hell happened? And he's like, Master, no. And the doctor's like, he's dead. He was incinerated by that brat. And Shigaraki's like, putting his hands into a fist until it even bleeds. And he's like, I want to kill him. I want to kill him right now. And the doctor's like, I want to too. But we have other things to tend to. He's like, what could be more important by this? By taking your master's quirk. And he's like, huh? Before All For One would pass away, he recently got a quirk. It's got a quirk called Everlasting. Once a person dies, the quirk can still remain inside of them. It's a fantastic quirk. Useless to someone that only has one quirk, but extremely powerful for someone like him. He never thought he would die, but he would take dramatic measures. To be honest, his plan in the beginning was to take over your body, Shigaraki, but that plan's going to failure. So you are actually going to be what being originally intended to be, the symbol of chaos. So are you ready to take All For One? With Shigaraki smiling, going into his deep voice now, becoming a grown man saying, I'm ready. Yeah. So the doctor would do experiments on him and all that stuff, and he's extracted All For One quirk and slapped it into Shigaraki. And Shigaraki at this point, his body's been overloaded with quirks, so he's kind of going like shaking, and the doctor's adding even more quirks inside of him. So finally, back to Izuku's perspective. The world is completely shocked. The number one hero has died, and everyone's devastated. The kids from UA, every pro hero, even some villains, they looked up to All Might. So Night Eye would actually plan All Might's funeral, a funeral where it's close friends first. And everyone would be arrived there, and everyone would be devastated. Everyone from Class 1A would be there. Different pro heroes he worked with. People even from America. David Shield himself, Melissa, everyone All Might has interacted with a deeper meaning, is there. And they all just can't believe this. And Night Eye would actually have a memorial do a speech for All Might, saying he was a fool, he was reckless, but he had such ambition. He made it true. He made himself a symbol. For every time everyone would see him, he would smile. He was a great hero, with everyone witnessing Night Eye actually break down and forever, with Miro seeing this even being more heartbroken. And yeah, the funeral would happen, and the public funeral would happen for All Might, and All Might would just have a giant place. They would build a whole bigger statue for him, where everyone could lay flowers for him, candles, and all that stuff. It's a national hero. He just died, and it's devastating. Izuku, after everyone left, would still be at his grave. And at this point, it would be raining, and Izuku would just be standing there. And that's when Ulraka arrives, saying, "Izuku, it's raining. You've been out here for hours. I think it's time for you to come back." And Izuku's like, "Just leave me alone, Ulraka." Uraka's like, "I can't do that, Izuku. We're worried about you. Everyone's worried about you. Please come." It's like, "Go away, Ulraka. You don't understand. I was right there. I could have saved him. I could have helped him. But I followed these orders and saved people. I'm such an idiot." She's like, "No. All Might wanted you to save those people because that's what a hero does. They prioritize the citizens' life over their own." And Izuku's like, "That's why he died." And Uraka's like, "Stop talking about this, All Might. Izuku, you don't mean it." He's like, "What if I do?" And Uraka would say, "Izuku, please." And Izuku's like, "You don't know anything. I held him. He was in my arms. He took his final breath in my arms, Uraka. He took his final breath in my arms. Don't you understand that?" And Uraka, seeing this, starting to cry and hug Izuku, and him hugging her back, and he starts crying, and he's like, and he pulls away, and that's when they look in each other's eyes, and Izuku's like, "Thanks, Ulraka." And Uraka's like, "I'll always be there for you, Izuku." With them leaning in and kissing. They were both in an emotional state, and they felt like they needed to do that. They felt like doing that for ages now, and they finally have done it. So yeah, they finally head home, and Izuku goes back to the dorm with all of them, concerned and all that stuff, but he says he's fine, with Bakugo in the corner, finally be able to go to sleep, not worrying about Izuku being out so late. Izuku would be in his bed just wondering what about All Might was talking about, that he has great potential and all that stuff, but Izuku's like, "Sure, my quick strong, but to rival All Might's strength, he could never." And Izuku couldn't go to sleep, so he'd wake up and actually go to the year 3's dorm, and he'd knock on the door, and that's when Miro opened. He's like, "Couldn't sleep either." Izuku's like, "Yeah." And yeah, Izuku and Miro would actually sit down, both drinking hot cocoa and reminiscing on All Might. And they start talking, and they try to cheer each other up by telling the favorite All Might stories and all that stuff. Until Izuku takes a serious turn and says, "So, Miro, All Might told me about One for All." And Miro's like, "Yeah, I figured All Might would tell you soon. He actually told me he wanted me to work with you." And Izuku's like, "He told me that too. But, Miro, do you think All Might would want revenge?" And Miro's like, "Huh?" Izuku's like, "Do you think All Might would want me to take down those filthy villains?" And Miro would look at Izuku's like, "Izuku, you and me both know the answer to that. All Might, he was the truest hero he could ever be. He would never wish death upon everyone, even on his greatest enemy." He told me a story once, with his fight with All for One back in the day. He said he had an opportunity, a killing strike to land an All for One, but he hesitated, and All for One took advantage of that, and that's how he got his scar, that big injury on his stomach. Despite that, even this fight, I was watching. I saw him plenty of times he had openings, but he would never take it. He only wanted to knock out All for One. And you were asking me if he wanted revenge, Izuku, with Izuku saying, "You're right. I'm sorry, Mirio. Enough decided." And Mirio's like, "Alright then, Izuku. I guess we gotta go back to sleep. We gotta get up early, you know." And Izuku's like, "Yeah, you're right." So Izuku would back to his dorm, and he'll close the door and says, "I've decided." And that's when he starts bringing out a bunch of pieces of paper and starts writing all night. So everyone would wake up and, all the press and stuff from All Might's death. And that's when Ulraka would knock on Izuku's door saying, Izuku, are you up?" And that's when she tries to open his door. And she opens his door and sees that Izuku's gone. And he just sees a bunch of papers on the table. Ulraka would pick up one of the paper and it just say, "I'm sorry, Ulraka. I can't stay here no more. All Might's death hit me hard and made me realize that staying at UA is not making a change at all. I need to be out there making a difference. I'm sorry." With Ulraka crying, it's like, "Izuku," and he made custom notes for everyone, and she'll be running out, it's like, "Izuku left! He left UA!" And she'll start breaking out into tears and all that stuff, and it was like, "What?" And everyone would read their custom letters and all that stuff. And with Bakugo would be the most pissed off, saying, "That damn nerd! Why would he do this? Doesn't he not know we're all suffering from this?" And everyone would see Bakugo, actually worried, and the stress makes people completely different. Yeah. So yeah, Izuku at this point could have taken his hero costume, like similar to Itachi's, and he would take this time a scarf from Mizawa and a bunch of knives and kunais, and he would become a vigilante. Izuku would go on to defeat little time villains and all that stuff, and, becoming like a Batman, you could say. But now he's being extra brutal with these punches, throwing more and extra effort, leaving Amaterasu on for a little longer than he should have, because he's feeling angry from All Might's death and him being so weak. Until Izuku heard a news station saying the hero killed Stain and the true hero killers are still out there, and increased activity after All Might's death. And Izuku grit his teeth and said, "These filthy villains. After All Might dies, they just go back to crime." And Izuku's like, "I will kill Stain myself." And Izuku, decide to track down Stain himself. So Izuku would try to get into Stain's thinking and how he thinks, and he quickly realized Stain hates fake heroes. And Izuku's like, "Alright then, I'll just wait for another fake hero incident." So Izuku would be waiting a couple days until finally he heard something. He got a tip that Stain will be in the city. He'll be in Hoso City to take out Ingenium. And Izuku's like, "It's finally my time." And that's when Izuku waited until dark, where Stain usually attacks, and he starts running around from building to building, looking for Stain, using the scarf to even maneuver around, until he hears "fake hero," and Izuku's like, "Damn, that guy's loud." And he turns back and he goes to the sound he heard. And that's when he switched to Stain's perspective, and he licked Ingenium's blood, saying, "You're a fake hero. I was supposed to take you down a while back, but things have delayed. But now you die until suddenly Stain gets kicked by the back, and Stain's like, "Oh, what the hell was that?" And he turns back and he sees Izuku. You know, this time Izuku's costume's covering his face. Covering his mouth and nose, just showing his eyes. And Stain would say, "Your eyes is filled with hatred, similar to mine." What are you supposed to be? A vigilante? I think I've heard of you. You're that person that's going around taking down villains so brutally. Who do you think you are? You're no real hero. You know All Might. And Izuku's like, shut the hell up. And he'll start dashing to Stain, and Stain would happily take the duel. And Izuku would be doing hand-to-hand combat with Stain. With Stain barely being able to keep up because Izuku's not pulling no punches, using all of that strength. So when he punches, freaking Stain tries to block it and almost cracks his bone. He's like, crap, and Izuku's like, die. And he keeps trying to throw haymires at Stain, and Stain takes advantage of that, grabbing Izuku, slanging it into the ground, and getting a little blood and about to lick it until Izuku uses Amaterasu on the blade and actually burns Stain's tongue. And Stain's distracted, and Izuku's like, there you are. And he punches Stain right in the face, sending him flying. And Izuku goes up to Stain, and it's like, fake hero this, fake hero that, shut the hell up. And he'll start unwelling on Stain. It's like, talking about this, talking about All Might's a true hero, you have no right. And he'll start wailing, just swinging on Stain. The man's close to near death, and Izuku's fists are just bloody, and he starts to break down in tears. Like, you don't know anything about All Might. And on a rooftop, you could just see three figures. So it's Dobby, Toga, and Spinner. Where Spinner's like, shouldn't we help him? And he's like, Dobby's like, no. Stain would not want us to help him. He was defeated by a true hero. Or a true villain. And with Toga laughing too, and Spinner being concerned, and Dobby's like, it's time. It's time to start. And they both, just jump off the building. Izuku, would leave Stain there with a note on him saying, you're welcome. And just saying, Flame Hero, Akatsuki, screw it. Izuku's name is called Akatsuki. So, yeah, Izuku is a vigilante at this point, and he's being extra aggressive. So now we're going to switch perspective to the true heroes. So yeah, after seeing Stain's defeat, Spinner is actually pissed off that didn't help, but Dobby freaking told him that if he helps, he'll kill him, and he knows that this is what Stain would want. So the true heroes would actually decide that they would team up with Shigaraki. So Dobby would actually meet up with Twice, and he gets an appointment with Shigaraki. Shigaraki at this point would have All For One in his grasp, and now he'd be like a freaking mafia crime boss. He would have the freaking mindset of All For One now, and he would just be freaking scary as hell. So Dobby would come in and he would sit down saying, it's finally nice to meet you, Tomura Shigaraki. And Tomura Shigaraki's like, what the hell do you want? And it looks like my name's Dobby. I am part of the Sugars. I know true hero killers. I heard your boss was taken down by that new vigilante called Akatsuki. What a shame. And Dobby's like, I know. That's why I'm here. Me and my partners want to join your association. And he's like, what the hell thinks you're so worthy? And Dobby just smiles. He's like, because just as much as you, I want chaos. I want to burn every hero in this world. But the one I want the most is Endeavor. I want to see him suffer. And once I do that, the world's just going to great chaos. And Shigaraki's like, I like you. And Dobby's like, what are we waiting for? You have this power, don't you? Me and my team, we're ready. We're ready to take over. On just your word, we'll start a war without any dismissal. And Shigaraki would smile. It's like, you have the same thought process as me. I actually just took over the Liberation Army. I'm about to start war. Get ready, boys. Chaos is about to start. With them all just laughing. With Spinner's the only one that's kind of like, Just so you know, Spinner's not going to turn good. If you guys hoping, no, he's not going to turn good. Yes, I just had to put that out there. He's not going to freaking turn good. And then Darby's like, how did Awful One die? And Shigaraki's like, that brat. I suspect he's the one that's Akatsuki. So if you want revenge for your leader, you take that kid down first. And it's like, how do we get to him? No. We don't go to him. He comes to us. So, Kirigiri, make it easy for him to track us down. And Kirigiri's like, are you sure? It's like, it's not like the kid can do real damage. And yeah. So, yeah, this basically goes down. It's about to be war. So, basically, Izuku is tracking down this organization, and he gets a tip, which is actually placed by Kirigiri. Izuku finally finds Shigaraki, and he says, Shigaraki, I'm gonna make you pay for what your master done to All Might. And Shigaraki's like, is that so? What thinks a pesky kid like you can stop me? And Izuku's like, a kid with hatred. And that's when he uses Amaterasu and Shigaraki. And Shigaraki, being prepared for this, actually turns the Amaterasu into decay. And it says, you're not the only one that's strong now. And Izuku and Todoroki, Shigaraki pursue to have a battle. And as that battle is going on, they start the war. And that's when a bunch of villains just start to go onto the street. And to be honest, the heroes had a slight suspicion of this. Because of Hawks, he was able to give some information off twice. And he was able to prepare something of a war, prepare for a war. So the heroes are some bit already. So at this point now, it's all out war. It's a bloodbath. Just villains getting killed, heroes getting killed, and it's just a bloodbath. And Izuku at this point is facing Shigaraki, and this man's just like out of it. Shigaraki's out of his league, and he's just going and Shigaraki's like, you're out of my league, kid. What makes you think a kid like you could stop me? I want absolute chaos. Absolute chaos! And it was about to decay Izuku until suddenly he just hears smash! And boom! It was Miro that punches Shigaraki. And Izuku's like, Mirio? And Miro's like, not just Mirio. And that's when Class 1A is with him. And Izuku's like, everyone. And Bakugo's like, you nerd! What makes you think you can just go out there and be a vigilante by yourself? What didn't you what did we learn from All Might? He told us that you can never do something by yourself, you idiots. And Izuku starts to cry, starts to tear up. And Izuku just smiles. He's like, you're right. And that's when it's like, alright, Class 1A, the pro heroes are taking them down. Let's go and help them. And they all go off, to help the pro heroes, into the war. And at this point, Dabi would see Endeavor and Shoto and just be like, Endeavor! And he'll go straight for him. And freaking using his flame to shoot him down faster, let's just say. And he's like, I've been waiting to kill you. And Endeavor's like, I don't even know who the hell you are. And he's like, it's me, your dear old son, Toya. And he's like, Toya? And freaking Shoto would be like, Toya? There's no way. And they would have the battle, being a very intense battle. And now we switch perspective to Shigaraki versus Izuku, Mirio, and Bakugo. Izuku would be like, guys, this Shigaraki, he's even stronger than before. He has Awful One's powers now, and his decay quirk is even more powerful. He's able to decay my Amaterasu flame. And Bakugo's like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, he's pretty powerful now. I don't know if I can take him. And Miro's like, I didn't know you were gonna give up so easily, Izuku. If that's so, I'll just do it myself. With him going at 85% of one for all. Not being able to fully push to that 100% yet. And Bakugo will be like, I've been training myself. I actually got a quirk evolution myself. And Izuku's like, wait, what? Oh God. He's like, yeah. Now sit back, relax if you're so scared. Me and Miro got this. With him going forward. And Izuku is like, you think I'm gonna let these guys freaking beat me? With him standing up and attacking himself. So all these guys would just start attacking Shigaraki. So Miro would be the brute force guys, throwing hands with him, throwing punches, facing through him, throwing punches again, and Shigaraki just, unleashing his quirks, destroying buildings around him, and Izuku will be using his Amaterasu to get him off guard and actually emit some pain onto him, so he's distracted enough to get punched by Mirio, and he's trying to use Black Flame to incinerate any quirk he uses, or like something like any blocks or something, and Bakugo comes in with annoying explosions. And Mirio's just focusing on the fight, and Shigaraki's like, you're annoying, and he uses those exact black and red things that All-For-One uses, and he stabs all of them, and all the go stabs Bakugo and Izuku, not Mirio. Mirio just flaces to it, so like, God damn it! And he actually uses Black Whip to save them all, because he's able to unlock that, you know what I'm saying? He unlocked Black Whip. And he's like, God damn it! And he puts them down. And Shigaraki comes dashing to Mirio, and he punches him right in the face. Mirio being caught off guard, it's like, crap, I should have faced that. And Shigaraki was about to freaking touch Izuku's and Bakugo's head to decay their heads completely. Until Izuku was like, no, I can't die. I can't die right here. And that's when he remembers All Might's words saying, you have true potential, Izuku. Just push past. You and Mirio are meant to be great heroes. Great heroes. Great heroes. And he has a flashback of Bakugo saying, my quirk evolution. Quirk evolution. Quirk evolution. You're not in this alone. You're not in this alone. You're not in this alone. Typical MC stuff. And Izuku's like, maybe you were right, All Might. I need to push past my limits and become a #1 hero. And Izuku would completely emit himself in a black aura flame. And Shigaraki could not freaking touch Izuku, and he would just jump back out of the heat Izuku's emitting. And Bakugo would wake up saying, Izuku, what the hell is... And Izuku's just covered in black flame aura, and Izuku's like, Amaterasu, full power. Izuku unleashes full power. Finally, he's getting to the core of his power. He's getting to that true strength he unlocked. And Izuku's body is covered in black flames. And now Izuku has 30 times the stats. So he could easily just, carry 1 ton. 2 tons. No, I'm gonna say 2 tons. He can easily carry 2 tons. Nothing close to one for all at all, but But I'm gonna say it's at least 40% of one for all. And Izuku, with this extreme boost, has extreme control on his quirk now. Now he can selectively choose who it burns. So if Bakugo's right next to him, he's not gonna be feeling that heat that Shigaraki does. So Izuku at this point is just an absolute beast. And now he makes up for Mirio's missing 20% that he needs for one for all. And Izuku would be like, let's get this started. And Shigaraki would be like, what the hell? And that's when all 3 of them attack with Bakugo using this explosion, using his quirk evolution. I forgot what it was in the manga. Oh, wow. Just completely forgot. Manga spoiler, guys. I'm sure you would have told by this. But anyways, so yeah, Bakugo uses that, and then Miro and Izuku come in for a punch, hitting Shigaraki back, and Shigaraki recovers, going, and that's when he decays the ground, and that's when all of them go up into the air with Miro using float. Yes, float. He's using float. He's gonna bring out all those quirks just out of the bat. Yeah, screw it. He uses float, and Izuku grabbing onto Miro, and that's when she was like, and he'll go running to them, and Izuku was like, throw me, Miro, and Miro spins him around and throws Izuku right at Shigaraki, and Izuku punches Shigaraki, and Izuku's punches might not be as strong as 100% of One For All, but they definitely hurt, because the extra aura onto it with the black flames completely just burned Shigaraki. Luckily for his healing factor, he's able to recover the skin he burns really quick. But Izuku's like, I'm not done yet. He does barrage of freaking punches on him, and that's when he's like, Bakugo, and Bakugo's like, right, and he throws a sword to Izuku, and Izuku's like, I haven't used this in a while. Amaterasu, flame strike, and he strikes at Shigaraki, and Shigaraki at this point gets cut with black flames on it, and it's starting to heal, and Izuku's like, no, and Miro comes in and he punches him, using black flame to bring him back, and punches him right off him, and then all three of them are in the air with Shigaraki like kind of dazed by this, and he's like, what the, and they're like, no, with all of them going to full power, and Miro's like, 100%, one for all, and Izuku's like, black flame maximum, and Bakugo's like, oh no, what's Bakugo's ultimate? Howitzer 10 times impact! And all of them would use all the strongest moves on Shigaraki, just sending him through countless of buildings. And Shigaraki at this point would be a crisp, and he'd be like, I'm not done yet. And Izuku would be like, I'm not done too. And he'll burst to him, and he would say, this was for All Might. He would say, black flame, Amaterasu fast! And he would punch it right through Shigaraki. And he would say, inflame! And he would set Shigaraki's head right on fire with this intense black flame. Darkest black flame you've ever seen. And Shigaraki would be screaming for that, going, and Shigaraki would pass out, with Izuku dismissing the flame, being heavy breath, and the black aura would just leave Izuku, and both of his eyes would be red and be bloody, and he'd pass out. With Bakugo being hurt and Miro's arm broken, and they finally defeated Shigaraki. And at this point, Shoto, since gaining more experience with Izuku with his flames and training with his father actually, changed up a little older, picked up his act ever since All Might's death. He realized that he can't end up like All Might and dying, not for his family. And now he realizes one of his family's turned into villains. He needs to end this right here, right now. So Endeavor and Shoto do a father-son fire fist, and they hit it right in the Dobby's gut, completely knocking him through several buildings, knocking him out. And the villains, seeing that both of the top dogs have been taken down, start to lose courage to fight, and they start to split up, and all the top heroes like Miracle, the washing machine guy, all of them sweep them down, taking him out. And yeah, all seems great, and the heroes have won, and it was like, yes, we won, until they hear boom, 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 master. It was Chachante Mankia, and he just comes barreling through bursting buildings, and he's going straight for Shigaraki, saying, Master, Master! And Izuku's like, what the hell is that? And they're like, Chachante Mankia, and all the heroes are completely discouraged, and Izuku's like, God damn it, black flame aura. And Miro's like, what are you doing, Izuku? You could... It doesn't matter at this point. Amaterasu! And he puts Amaterasu on Gigantomachia, and Gigantomachia starts to feel this, and he's like, Master, not being bothered at first, and Izuku's like, God damn it, he's a beast. Darker flame! And he makes the flame even darker, and Gigantomachia starts to feel this, and he starts to be like, and he starts to scream in pain, and everyone's like, is that Izuku's black flame? They're like, yeah, he's defeating Gigantomachia with it. And with all of them just surprised that Izuku has this much strength now. And Izuku was able to defeat Gigantomachia in just 2 moves. And everyone's like, what the hell? And Izuku's like, alright, time to pass out. And he passes out with both of his eyes completely bloodshot red, just bleeding out of it. And like, we need to get this guy to the hospital. So yeah, they take him to the hospital and all that stuff. So the heroes won. They were victorious. They had a 1-day war. And Izuku, unlocking his true potential, his true strength, the true Amaterasu flame, was able to defeat Shigaraki with the help of One For All Mirio and Quirk Evolution Bakugo, and save the Hero Society once again. So that's where I'm leaving off today. Hope you guys enjoyed this What If. I really enjoyed it, you know. And yeah, leave a like and leave a comment for what if suggestions or things I could improve on what ifs or whatever. And now I have a second channel for Naruto what ifs, link in the descriptions. I haven't been able to get to that because I'm doing this video because I wanted to be quality, you know. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been King Donald signing out. Peace with almost 2-hour recording.